nigga high as a motherfucker, by the way. Let me go fast for you. I am the nigga, young dog. This high ass nigga.
They don't dance no more. It's all about the lean. Back in the day, crack was jumping on the scene. Now they slumped on the sidewalk. Can't talk. Golden era faded, but we still feel the rock. They used to be kings, now they lost in the scheme. Popping them bottles, throwing money, living dreams. Now they zoned out and mumbling, fumbling. No rhythm in the city, the whole shit crumbling. They used to rock the house, they was riding through the streets. Remember there was dancing, sliding to the beat. Now it's poison in their veins, ain't no pulse on the street. Guess it's over now, they accepted defeat. Back in the day, the rock had them wild and free. Different story now, they got no energy. The new drugs got them slow with the hit unload. Out close and they don't dance no more. Block used to be jumping, top shit they was on. Now it's lights out, guess the thrill is gone.
I am the nigga, young dog. I bring it to you rough, rugged, and raw, nigga.
They don't dance no more, it's all about the codeine. Back in the day, they was rocking on the scene. Even dancing in the rain. Now they nodding off. Shit just don't hit the same.
I am the nigga, young dog. Myself to the stage here. I am John Galt, the Urban Landlord. This is going to be a Landlord edition today. A couple of things we'll talk about is landlord, a couple of things that I've already uploaded to the channel as videos, and I guess we'll start off there. That's probably a good place to start. A buddy of mine, he sent me an Airbnb review the other day, and he's a landlord in the ghetto, similar to me, and he had a last minute booking request. And typically a last minute booking request from his standpoint is not a great thing because that person typically, down to their last options and they chose him. In this instance, I don't think this person was down to their last option in terms of money and stuff like that. They were probably down to the last option as a last minute booker for whatever reason. So we'll take a look at that video first, start off the Landlord edition. Mic check. Is my mic not good? Let's see. Oh, damn. You're right. I am on the camera. So this should be better right here. This is the Rode microphone. This should be better. Let me know if this is better. But anyway, so a real estate buddy of mine, landlord in the ghetto as well, he had a reservation for his Airbnb in the ghetto. And this is a familiar or relatively common occurrence in the ghetto on Airbnb. Airbnb is software, it's review system, stuff like that. In my opinion, is written for more or less mainstream, middle of the road listings, not necessarily for listings in the ghetto. You can say high max. So with that being said, Airbnb's listings, Airbnb's platform is more or less set up for nice units. Not necessarily for budget travelers. That is the way it is evolved. And I'll explain to you why. Budget travelers know, this is live. Budget travelers know that they can hold a bad review over the Airbnb host. And in doing so, they can extract refunds, things like that, because the host knows that if they write a bad review, he can be put off of Airbnb. So that's kind of how all of that works. Who's this? What's her name? Carlita Patricia Moran. Okay, all right. Fair enough. All right, so here's my buddy's situation, and I'll share this video with you. It's a video that I published earlier, maybe today or yesterday. And this is how it works in Airbnb when you're down in the ghetto. The review system and everything works against you, and you're in this basement type customers that didn't have a lot of money. The problem arises when guests, here is a review of someone, a buddy of mine who had an Airbnb guest who expressed those concerns in an email message. You see that message on the screen. I ended up not staying last night. I had to report for my volunteer duties this morning at 7 a.m. So I only had 7 hours before being up and reporting for work. So I got a hotel in a better area. I pulled up in the alley behind the house and felt very unsafe. So this again is a guest that clearly could afford a hotel.
but he probably booked this Airbnb, thought it was a good price. The pictures made it look nice, but the area, the surrounding neighborhood, felt unsafe. The last 4 blocks of arriving at the house, I had squads of people yelling at my car, sitting at stoplights. People catcalling, and it just felt very unsafe. I felt so unsafe that I wasn't going to pull into any parking spot to look at my phone in that area. I've never been in DC before, so I had no idea where I was. It took me over an hour to get through the city and find an actual parking spot to look on my phone. It was almost midnight by the time I guess that guest was able to book a hotel or arrive. Anyway, so this is my a buddy of mine who is an Airbnb host, and this was the message that he received. So the guest clearly canceled the booking. He didn't. My buddy did not get any money for this reservation. And part of the reason why he didn't get any money, he gave the guy a full refund, is because he didn't want a bad review on Airbnb, and that is part of the problem there when renting in the ghetto. If you end up booking a guest like this person who clearly can afford better accommodations, and he stays there, you're going to get a bad review. On the other hand, you're dealing with people who don't have a lot of money, who are going to be a little bit more destructive to your property, but they're probably more in line with the customers that you're able to accommodate based upon your location and the condition of his apartment. We've profiled his apartment on the channel. It's not a renovated apartment, and so an unrenovated apartment in the ghetto is not going to be very ideal for Airbnb. And again, this is the message that the guy sent my buddy about not saying it's Airbnb. And one of the things about this reservation that comes to mind is this was a last minute reservation. So this person probably was looking at the last minute. He booked my buddy's place in a haste, but when he arrived there, it was too unsafe, cat calling, people standing out at stoplights. And for those of you that are familiar with the area, this is Anacostia, Washington, D.C., southeast. And this is the area right here, across the river from official Washington, D.C. Some of the headlines from the news: man hospitalized, 3 arrested after shooting in D.C.'s Anacostia neighborhood. Woman hurt in Anacostia shooting. Man shot and killed in Anacostia. Teen boy taken to the hospital after shooting in southeast, more like Anacostia, 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 and so on and so forth. And so this is part of the reason why Airbnb hosts have a hard time making a go of it in these poor neighborhoods because they're only going to be able to get one type of guest that they can easily satisfy. The rest of the guests are either going to feel uncomfortable when they stay and write a bad review, or just cancel outright. Once again, I am John Galt.
And that was my buddy's experience with Airbnb. You've seen me mention many times that at least once, where an Airbnb guest wrote me a message and said, "Hey, what is your ancestry?" before they would book the unit. Of course, I didn't respond. But anyway, so it goes there that this guy had to give up his unit for a night, didn't get any money, had to refund the guy more than likely, because as you can see on the screen, the guest as well as the host had the opportunity to write reviews. And I'm sure that the host would have written them a bad review. Give me 1 second. Somebody's just ringing the doorbell here. The solar power people asking me to do I want to buy solar. I'm in the ghetto, so they're selling solar power all the time around here. Anyways, I was cleaning up a room today, so that was my Airbnb buddy who has the Airbnb. Airbnb will suspend you for too many bad reviews. It's kind of like getting strikes on YouTube. So if you're on Airbnb and you're in the ghetto, you're going to get bad reviews just solely off the neighborhood. There's really nothing you can do about that unless your place is very, very nice, and you're not going to decorate it very, very nice because, well, the people that you're going to get in the majority are not going to be people that are going to respect and take care of their property. So that was my buddy on Airbnb. For those of you that have been around for a while, you may remember just a couple of weeks ago, we had a violent black tenant, a big, large, violent black man. And he was threatening me, things like that. Hey, he didn't have the money to pay the rent. And so today I'm going in the, I'll just scroll down my Twitter stream. How about that? We just go all the way down the Twitter stream. There's no particular thoughts on this stream. I got a couple things in the title, and we'll cover all those. This gets to be Brave's GOAT right here. This is, again, on Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. And whenever you see these bikes, a lot of times they're just on the ground. Makes no sense, but they always just put them on the ground. And again, for most of these blacks that are riding these Lime scooters, so on and so forth, these bikes are more or less free, subsidized. The city provided these bikes for the young blacks to have the opportunity for transportation, presumably to get to work. And you see how they eventually take care of them. Again, scrolling down, Anacostia. Oh, damn, was I not sharing that? Yeah, here it is. Hey, so here are the bikes here. Typical of what you see in the ghetto. These bikes are provided for the students, for the young people primarily. And when they initially rolled this out, it was to help the young blacks compete in the job market. And here we go. And so that's kind of where that has devolved to. What was this? CC's last show was funny shit. Was that the one where he was walking? I don't know if I saw it. I think the last show I saw, he was walking around. That was pretty good. It was a different kind of format for CT. All right, down my Twitter stream we go. Here's something from Facebook. I shared it with you. This is again, this is downtown Anacostia. My buddy who has the Airbnb, to get to his Airbnb, this is what you likely would see on any given day. And you'll hear that. This is again, this is downtown. Again, this is downtown Anacostia. It looks like I got an arrow from StreamYard. I'll share my screen again. This is downtown Anacostia. This is right by the food stamp office. You would have seen me here do a live stream from by the food stamp office. This is the area where the people were speaking into the empty phone, where there was no one on the other line. Again, this is downtown Anacostia.
Yeah. Come on. I'm gonna moonwalk your ass. I'm gonna see you somewhere, gang, and I'm gonna take your ass through there. Bitch, I'm from Jersey. I'm gonna take your ass through there. I swear to God on your man.
Take you through there.
Fuck that bitch.
Take you through there.
This shit is fucking watch that ass. Watch that motherfucker.
You don't just let out fucking hands up, right? I'm fucking I'm into this cuz. What? Does it seem like it's steady? You think you jail twice? You abuse power. You're fucking abusing power. Get the fuck out of here.
You're abusing power.
Get out. You get the fuck out. You don't
Hey, black people don't do powder, bitch. Black people don't do powder.
I don't have a power struggle. I'm not white power.
You are.
No, I ain't.
You said nigga, right?
Yes,
she
did.
I heard you.
Yes, she did.
I swear that's a man right there. I swear that thing in the red is a man. And she's doing a good job of imitating a woman over here in the ghetto in the beauty desert. She fits right in with the other women.
White trash behind you. Is that what's going on? Oh, you guys have white trash behind you. You white trash. Right. White trash. You're white. I'm like, you don't know. That's why you don't like me. I don't like you because you ugly as shit.
Here's the half man, half woman, calling the white woman ugly as shit.
You're white. I'm like, you don't know. That's why you don't like me. I don't like you because you ugly as shit. Oh, ghetto, motherfucker.
Wow, ugly.
Ugly as shit.
Yo, this woman is taking her life at risk coming out here in the ghetto like that. This is it's right in front of the food stamp office. For those of you who remember, this is remember the lady I interviewed? She had Killer, which was her boyfriend's name or his nickname on her neck. She's taking real serious chances out here in the ghetto, agitating these blacks, and apparently she's saying the N-word and all that stuff. You know, I didn't get a chance. Did I get a chance? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to show you the rest of that Airbnb review. This is the second page of it. So I would not be staying due to feeling like the neighborhood was very unsafe. Again, this is my buddy's Airbnb. You've heard him on the call several times. I felt my car would be broken into or someone robbing me in the alleyway. Thank you, and sorry to be a bit harsh, but I'm just telling you my truth of what happened. This is my truth, he says. And as you can see, I think you can kind of see the top of his head. This looks to be a white man, but he's just telling you his truth, what he encountered just entering a black neighborhood. That's what he found. He said people catcalled him. He did not feel safe. And so he decided to cancel the reservation with my buddy. And this is what it's like doing business in the ghetto. The reputation oftentimes precedes whatever property that you're offering there. You don't even get a chance to present the property because of the bad behavior of the people in the neighborhood. Here's another video. I'm not sure why I put it on Facebook. We'll take a look. Here it is here. So much going on. This is not DC though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One more time.
Oh yeah.
Get that bitch. Open that bitch. One more time. It's gonna open one more time. There you go.
And the reason why I'm showing this again, we had JP up on the panel the other day, and he was talking about how he will destroy someone's property. Again, he was talking about it from a landlord-tenant situation, but again, I don't think this lady is a tenant here. Clearly, but look at how readily she is willing to destroy someone else's property, and then listen to the people behind her, encouraging her to destroy someone else's property. Yeah, this looks to be Philly or Baltimore.
That shit not opening.
And you can't help but notice all of the energy that this probably some drug-addled woman is putting into this. This is the black destructive by nature.
Yo. She wilded out. What's going on?
That window is coming out.
She on that.
Now, one black person would say, "Hey, lady, you destroying someone else's property." It's a laughing, funny affair.
Good shit.
Two more hits.
She on that.
Two more hits.
Two more hits, babe. Two more hits. She got that thing back.
She tired as shit.
Somebody help me.
Please help me.
She said, "Somebody help me," because she knows somebody will offer up a destructive hand.
What are you doing? Help you do what?
You do what? Get in that door. Oh,
Yo.
What is she doing?
I don't know what the fuck she doing.
No, that shit coming off. No, you got to
Yo, I don't know what she doing.
two more hits. You in there.
Couple more hits,
she
baby.
tripping.
You in.
Yo.
Still going. Nah, still going.
No, she in it.
She in there.
Oh, shit.
Jay, you got two more hits, Jay. What you doing? You in there, Jay?
She
in
tired
there.
as shit.
People in look.
It ain't nobody in there.
Look.
Yo,
She in
nobody
there.
It's clearly an abandoned
down
building.
there.
Look, she see there's somebody in there. No.
It's an abandoned damn building, and she's done her damn best to destroy it. These people don't put that kind of energy into building anything. They put that kind of energy into destroying. And again, I saw this tweet come up in my timeline, and I'll see if I can find something from YouTube here. Here it is. Damn, it must be a nationwide occurrence. We'll start in Baltimore. In Baltimore, first day of school, I guess it was this week, probably Monday. Teen takeover ends in crash. A teen takeover in Baltimore is the rotunda ended with scooter crashes, a shattered store window, and a fight involving several female students. Police were called after hundreds of students gathered at the shopping center following the first day of school. And it's teen takeover, first day of school.
Well, all quiet here at the rotunda at this hour, but earlier, police
Oh, damn.
burst on the property after a large group of students showed up. At the rotunda on West 40th Street in North Baltimore, hundreds of juveniles flooded the area, blocking traffic, reports of assaults, and several fights on the property, enough to trigger a response from Baltimore City Police.
God damn. there.
This fight caught on camera. Officers seen trying to pull two girls apart amid a huge crowd as other students gathered across the property.
It's concerning because this has always been a safe place.
This woman, who's protecting her identity, captured the images on her cell phone camera. The noise brought her outside to her balcony at her apartment as the disruptions broke out below, including a crash. A student on a scooter apparently slammed into a vehicle.
I'm nervous here. It does leave you feeling a little bit uneasy. I moved here in this area because it was a safe area where we can all go to the businesses. I've had nothing but positive interactions.
Damn, they're not even showing this lady. It's so amazing.
Here and with the businesses. So just to see something that was starting off as friendly turn a little violent was concerning.
The so-called teen takeover broke out at about 4 p.m. Monday. Students at the Rotunda tell us there was a social media post to meet at the Rotunda after school. Hundreds showed up on this back-to-school first day of classes at Baltimore City Public Schools.
Jesus Christ, what are these kids learning?
Soon, BPD officers...
Look at that right there with that fire red weave. Jesus Christ. Have mercy.
Soon,
Have mercy.
BPD officers moved in, told by property management to clear the property. Everyone, students and customers.
Yo, these kids out here smoking and shit. That boy got a cigarette on his here. You see this shit?
To clear the property, everyone, students and customers, had to go. Look at this. We found this once the crowd cleared. A glass front door shattered at Cinnaholic, the gourmet cinnamon roll shop.
I mean, they're going for the lowest of businesses now. They run all the high-end businesses out of Baltimore. Cinnabons and shit like that. That's all.
Police say one of the teens riding a scooter lost control, smashed into the front window.
And to the blacks, that would be another job created. And again, in Washington, D.C., more of the same. This is the first day of school in Washington, D.C. You'll see this, the kids are hanging out at Chipotle. And more of the same. First day of school, D.C. police, fire, and EMS were dispatched to the area of the Gallery Place Chinatown. This is downtown Washington, D.C., not far from the White House, the metro station, at around 5:30 p.m. for a juvenile who had reportedly, been pepper sprayed. A group of roughly 50 juveniles were observed hanging out near the metro station, some on e-bikes and Lime scooters, the same ones they ran into the building with. It appears that one person was taken away in an MPD transport van, although unable to be confirmed. Some officers from both Metro and DC police were seen carrying pepper spray ball launchers for crowd control. Again, this is the first day of school in DC, and Baltimore County is experiencing some of the same things there. Destructive behavior by the kids, and it just really makes you wonder, are we really wasting our time trying our best to educate these kids? Which led me to, I guess I'll go down a couple more things on my Twitter stream, and then I'm going to cover Mr. Fantastic. The other day I was on Mr. Fantastic's channel, and an interesting discussion about Howard University. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, here's a tweet. Again, this is a DC local, keeping it local about DC or real estate and landlord and stuff. I have a house in DC that's been vacant for almost a year. It's unbelievable in DC. I have rented out for 10 years previously. It's fully updated, has parking and private outside space, and is close to Noma, Mount Vernon Triangle, and Chinatown. These are very good areas, but not in any of those neighborhoods. So it's near but not close. Near but not in the neighborhood, but close. It is in 2000, this is the zip code. I cannot get a decent applicant. This is very interesting. I previously rented to a voucher family, that's Section 8 for the uninitiated, and while they destroyed the house, I've been willing to accept another voucher on market rate payment. I've already explained to you why they're willing to do this, because of the absurd rent payments by DC's housing authority for Section 8 voucher payments. And if you have forgotten what those voucher payments are, I'll show you those for effect. DC HVP payment standards. and you'll see that. And see payment standards, and here are the payment standards that she's willing to accept. Here are the payment standards. These are the payment standards for Washington, D.C. And this woman likely has a house that's I don't know, maybe it's 3 to 4 bedrooms. So if you're looking at the payment rate there, she's looking at $5,300 on Section 8, and that's what she previously did. She was previously a voucher holder. I previously rented to a voucher family and while they destroyed, I've been willing to accept them again because of the high rental payments. I just cannot get any applicants without major red flags who want to move forward. Again, this lady has kept her house vacant for almost a year after renting it fully for 10 years. I've been on the brink of selling for months because I cannot pay this mortgage out of pocket forever. Looking to get a local perspective on absolutely anything that I can do differently. And again, this is one landlord, and I was talking to a buddy of mine about this. Part of the reason why they are willing to accept Section 8, even though the Section 8 family destroyed their houses, because Section 8 pays so much, as you can see right here. This is so high that people are willing to accept a Section 8 payment, Section 8 tenant, even though they will destroy your property. And so she's willing to go along for the ride again. But look at how she has easily discriminated against market rate participants, the people who get out and work every day and don't have a voucher. She's more or less willing to accept the voucher holders over regular working class people because regular working class people cannot afford to pay and keep up with the Section 8 tenant holders. So she's left her house vacant in a very viable area for almost an entire year. That's telling. That's very, very telling of the rental laws being so stringent. And she, I'd be very hesitant to rent to anyone, particularly at the rates that she would have to rent to. And if they decide not to pay her for whatever reason, she has 2 years of trying to put those people out. And that is why she would be willing to accept Section 8, even though she knows that they're going to destroy her house. That is very, very interesting. I think I reached out to this lady, tell her some of the things that I think she should do, which brings me to mind. A neighbor of mine, he says, John, I can't afford my house anymore. He says, I need to start doing what you're doing. I said, what, rent rooms? He said, yeah. And I said, you just, whenever you're ready, just let me know. And I got to thinking, like, how many unused or underutilized houses are in these ghettos where grandmothers are living on one floor of the house, can't climb the stairs, things like that. And the rest of the house goes unutilized. There's probably a viable business there. Someone that can come in and more or less tap into the value, the rental value of some of the places in these people, the older people homes in particular, that are not using, particularly here in DC, we have a lot of basements that it's more or less, I guess you could say many of them are illegal to rent. Here's a guy, another real estate story. Here's a guy that was on my channel. I was actually on his channel. Actually, there's another guy, but we'll listen to him. And he's talking about the lies that real estate tenants tell. These are some of the things that JP covered.
Around it. Number 3 is there. So these are the 3 biggest lies that tenants tell on an application and how I get around it to make sure I get a quality tenant. Number 3 is there a number of people that will be living in the property. People tell me all the time the worst one is me and my fiance. Fiance, in my opinion, means boyfriend. It does not mean fiance because no one wants to say boyfriend because they look at that as unstable.
Right.
They'd rather say fiance. Right. When you say fiance, I want to run a background check on him as well. I don't accept it as just you. So that's the first one. And you have to verify who's going to be living in the property and who is not. And you're going to say, well, why do you have to care so much? Who lives in the property? Because a lot of times that person might be the main breadwinner of the household. Now, maybe not, but instead of me trying to figure it out, I'm going to screen them, which comes back to my next step. The second thing that they lie about.
The other big thing in terms of needing to know who's going to be in your property is because look at the big black violent tenant. You know, I don't run background checks and things like that, but if they were renting a proper apartment, people will want to know, oh, is it going to be you and your boyfriend? And the boyfriend, as you can see, he's on Narcan, so he's on some type of heroin. I think I showed that to you already. He would counsel her out of being able to get the apartment. And that is what this guy is referring to here. He's catching them in lies because one of them probably would not pass the background check, typically the man.
Is employment status. People will tell me that they're employed, they just started, something like that. I don't want to hear it. We use bank data to verify their ability to pay rent. Instead of us trying to hunt down and see if they go after pay stubs. I had a lady give me fake pay stubs where she wrote them out and they literally had the same date and the same serial number on the pay stub because she didn't know how to fill them out. Instead of going through all that, we use bank data because bank data, instead of me showing your pay dates, it will show how money comes into your account, how frequently it comes in. So if you get paid every 2 weeks, every week, it shows me the average of how much is coming into your account. Now, I don't look at their bank statements.
Now, one of the things, you could probably extrapolate from what he's saying is that if you're looking to see when the money is coming in, then logically, when you want your money to be paid to you at the same time, that is what I do. I provide weekly, bi-weekly payment options. No one gets paid monthly anymore. Very few people, maybe the school teachers get paid monthly now, but everyone else is getting paid daily, weekly, or bi-weekly. So I like to schedule my payments along the times that they will get paid. If they don't pay you once they get paid, then they're not going to pay you. That's just how it works. And at that point, you will have to sign that, they're not going to pay you. You don't have to wait till the first of the month to realize that, hey, this guy has been spending my money all month and now he's not going to pay me. And I think this would be a natural progression for most landlords. When they look at all the Uber drivers and things like that, they get paid every day. They can cash out daily. Why are you charging them monthly? That doesn't make sense to me.
It used to, but we use a service that looks at their bank statements and actually shows us the income. And the beautiful thing about this, why I like it, is because in this gig economy, it counts everything. So it counts their Uber driving, their door dashing, it counts their regular paycheck. All the ways they bring in income, it allows me to count that and add it in. So I get an accurate picture. And I can see their payment history with bills and things like that. Not seeing their transactions, but actually seeing a summary that the software gives us of their bank transactions so we can make an informed decision. And it gives us a score. And that score is unique to that particular rent. So
this is very interesting. This is likely some AI being used to filter through tenants. And what he's about to say is that this credit scoring type system gives him a credit score for tenants at different rental rates. This is very interesting.
Might score a 100% on a $1,200 rent, but on a $2,500 rent, they might only score a 50. So they might be more risky. The third thing that they lie about is their overall income. People have a tendency to lie about their income, most of all, because they're trying to show 3 times rent. My service that we use, the bank data service, actually looks at their overall history of income over the last 3 or 4 months. And based on that information, it will tell me an average of what they hold in their account. Again, it doesn't show me numbers or anything like that. It will tell me in relation to my rent. Do they usually hold two times my rent? Or do they usually get in 1.5 or 0.5%?
Again,
of my rent. So I can see where they stand without going too far.
Right. And this is what he's saying without going too far. Effectively, we're seeing this is like maybe the first wave of a social credit score. How are you spending your money? How much do you have in reserves every pay period? And you have AI that can go back and give him a summary. Is this something that the human eye can do? Credit scores of old, we're not doing this kind of Monte Carlo type simulations. And what if your rent is this or what if your rent is that? This is new dynamic credit pricing for these more challenging markets where people are getting paid on a very frequent or infrequent basis in some cases. Anyway, very interesting. Again, this is something that I've been doing long before you hear these people talking about it. I realize that, hey, not a lot of these people are getting paid monthly. Hell, a lot of them are getting paid day by day. So it just makes sense to charge them kind of in alignment with what they're getting paid. Now, here's another interesting article. Again, along the real estate lines, this is an eviction or something taking place. Yeah, you're going to find this very interesting.
Victoria,
you may
the lady that was right here.
Yeah. You may find this very interesting. It may remind you of the guy that I had to put out of my house earlier.
Jack. The lady that was right here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
She on her machine.
Okay, perfect. So
Seems like Officer Robinson that was here that served the eviction, he advised you that nobody's supposed to be in there. So if you're here without Mr. Armando, is that your name? Armand, perfect. If you're here without his permission, you could be subject to arrest as far as violating a trespass.
Okay.
You were served an eviction. You're not supposed to be here without his consent.
Well, I wasn't served an eviction.
You were here. Officer Robinson just told me over the phone.
Okay.
The one who served you.
All right.
So you're either gonna leave the property right now or you're gonna go to jail.
Yes, I just have to leave.
Okay, yes sir. Perfect. That's your
I just
job.
have to leave.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and roll out for me, and we'll go handle her now.
Is she riding with you? Are you her ride? The other lady that's in there?
Yes, that's my father and mother's friend.
Okay, cool.
That's fine.
Excuse me, sir.
All right.
You okay with us going inside?
And so again, you know, there's a lot to unpack here. A lot of times when you rent to these black people, they will have more than one person in their property, and all of those people, they're so desperate. Any of them will are liable to say, "Hey, I live here. I have tenant rights here." I showed you a video just the other day to give you a very good example of what I'm talking about. Here's a video from the other day. I walk into one of my properties, and it was a black man. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. This is where is it? It's here. Yeah. And this is really amazing when you think about it. Take a listen. Example of why you have to charge black tenants more. I primarily rent rooms. Typically, when you rent a room to a black person, there's always going to be an extra person, at least one more. In this case, I want you to take a look. Here's 3 blacks staying on me while only renting to 1.
Hey, buddy, yo,
Yo,
wake up, my man.
what's up, bro?
Yo,
This is in the living room, by the way.
why you sleep down here?
My man ain't.
Huh?
My man ain't that much, girl.
Oh,
So I don't know if you can hear him. I think I'll explain it. You hear me mention why he's down there on the floor.
you ain't got no place to live?
I'm supposed to crash in.
Huh? Hold on, listen.
I'm not homeless, man. I was saying my man ain't that much, girl. And he,
Say what?
My man ain't that much, girl.
Yeah.
And he just asked me to step out for a second. I'm just chilling. I'm not homeless, I promise.
But how long?
What he's saying, if you can't hear him, he said his man is in there with his girl. That's his girlfriend. I guess they're having a little moment of intimacy, and so they kick him out. So he was going to stay there if the girl hadn't come over. So here I am renting a room to 1 person, and now there are 3 people in the house.
You been out here sleeping?
Like 3-4 hours. That's it.
Shit, that more than a second.
Hey, I'll get up, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? People live here, like, you know, shit, sit in a chair.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't want to come down and see somebody sleeping down in the living room and shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Shit, you must be homeless because that floor hard as hell. Huh?
Nah, man, I just stay a lot of it.
Oh, you ain't got no place of your own.
You heard him. He said, I stay a lot of places.
Oh, man.
I don't know if you heard him there. He said, I stay a lot of places. That's the word, the operative word there. They don't live anywhere. They stay places, a lot of places.
Oh, you ain't got no place of your own.
I do, but I was crashing on that. Yeah.
That floor hard as hell. Huh?
Nah, man, I just stay a lot of it.
Oh, you ain't got no place of your
I
own.
stay a lot of places. For those of you that think that means nothing, that means a lot. This is where their mindset is. They're like a rolling stone. They live nowhere. They just stay a lot of places. And in this case, he's staying on my floor.
Yo.
I do, but I was crashing on that too.
Oh, man.
Now, for those of you that you probably couldn't hear it. So why is he on the floor? Again, the black male, him and his buddy, I guess they were out on the night, or maybe this guy's homeless. I don't know. But the black male said, hey, man, I got my bull in here. Got my bull in here. We about to get intimate, man. Me and the bull. He said, you got to sleep on the floor. Listen, I don't know if you heard it. Listen. Take a look. Here's 3 blacks staying on me while we're renting to 1.
Hey, buddy, yo,
Yo,
wake up, my man.
what's up, bro?
Yo,
This is in the living room, by the way.
why you sleep down here?
My man ain't.
Huh?
My man ain't that much, girl.
Oh, you ain't got no place.
See, my man in there with his girl. This guy's drunk. He said, my man in there with his girl.
to live?
I was supposed to crash in.
Huh? Hold on, listen.
I'm not homeless, man. I was saying my man ain't that much, girl.
My man in there with his girl. His bull.
My man ain't that much, girl.
My man in there with his bull.
He just asked me to step out for a second. I'm just chilling. I'm not homeless, I promise.
But how long?
What he's saying, if you can't hear him, he said his man is in there with his girl. That's his girlfriend. I guess they're having a little moment of intimacy, and so they kicked him out. So he was going to stay there if the girl hadn't come over. So here I am renting a room to one person, and now there are 3 people in the house.
So you been out here sleeping?
3-4 hours. That's it.
Shit, that more than a second.
Hey, I'll get up, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause people live here, like, you know, shit, sit in a chair.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people don't want to come down and see somebody sleeping down in the living room and shit.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Shit, you must be homeless because that floor hard as hell. Huh?
Oh man, I just stay a lot of places.
Stay a lot of places.
Oh, you ain't got no place of your own?
I do, but I was crashing on mattresses, all that stuff.
Oh, man, yeah, that floor.
And you know, basically, he's homeless. If he had a place of his own, he would have gone there. You can see he spent his money on alcohol and drinks. That was clearly apparent right there on the floor. You can see a bottle of whiskey. He has his Nike. You see the bottle of whiskey there, the Air Jordan, whatever throwback ass Air Jordans he's wearing. Shorts on his Air Jordans and stuff like this. This is how they spend their money, and then they end up sleeping on the floor. So I'm upstairs, I'm cleaning up a room, and I hear him come and use the bathroom. Again, here's 3 people in one room that they shouldn't be there. And, you know, this guy, you know, clearly doesn't have a place to stay. I'm not sure how often he is crashing on my floor, but the other people who are paying rent, they don't want to come in the house or leave the house and see someone sleeping in the living room while his buddy is having sex with some bull in his bedroom. What's the name, John? And that is what it's like renting to them. That is what the other landlords are saying. You know, it's always going to be more than one. That's typically how it goes, particularly with the men. You know, they're going to have their girlfriend, their boyfriends, whatever the hell they're doing. And so they're going to use up a lot more water, a lot more electricity, gas, whatever the case may be. And so how do you properly price these people, price rent for these people, when you never know when they're going to have more people than they're going to tell you is going to show up. Here's another video, another tweet. Let's see if I can find it. Going down the list here. Damn, I don't know where my bookmarks are. Hold on. Let me pull up this one. You know, we covered Gary a little bit earlier this week. Gary, Indiana, parts of Gary, Indiana, having trouble with water. Of course, the mayor goes to Don Lemon to explain their predicament with water, and here's his explanation.
This is, to me, it feels like neglect. Do you think that some of that neglect comes from or is happening, if you feel that way? It may be in part because Gary is a Black working class city.
100%. I believe a couple things are at play here. During the middle of the restoration process, the utility company, and full transparency, 15 years, I worked for that company, so I know about the process. They were releasing the updates of restoration, and Gary was not listed on that restoration list. Gary is the largest geographic footprint of a city that we have, not population-wise, but geographic footprint. And that was the moment that the extreme frustration came out from the public, because it would appear that we're being forgotten when you don't list out the actual restoration time frame. So that's where all of the mayhem really started to get triggered on the ground level.
Yeah, sure. You know, part of this, the issue that Gary was having, if you were looking at the pictures, aside from the people shooting at the utility workers, is that to maintain, you know, proper utilities and stuff like that, you have to trim back trees and stuff like that. That was not done on Gary's in the city of Gary. And so when the trees start falling, you have power lines going down, probably many more power lines that were in the suburbs and stuff like that. And so I think that is the untold story of you know, it's basically a lack of maintenance. I got a video I want to share with you guys. Let's see if I can share it. How can I, let's see, open this, open it. I'll just download it. A while back, Master Kim and I, we called a store. Let me rename this file, MLK store. A while back, Master Kim and I, we called this store on Martin Luther King. It's right near one of my properties.
Let's see if this is it. No, that's the short one. That's the short one. Let me get the long one. Let me get the long version. Let me get the long version here. Give me 1 second. Where is the long version? This may be the long version here. Oh, yeah. All right, this is let me make sure this is it. Yeah. Yo. So you're gonna see something funny here, guys. Don't laugh. Well, you can laugh, I don't care. All right, let me see. Let me do it like this. Copy. Well, I think I can do it like this. So a while back, Master Kim and I, we called a corner store, convenience store. And Master Kim did the negotiations for the store. Well, today I had a chance. I was riding by the store, and I had a chance to go inside of that store. I don't know if you guys remember the store. You can find it, the video on the channel. But here is the store. You're going to see something funny within the video, but nevertheless, is this it? Yeah, this is it. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, it's wrong. Wrong window. Hey, give me 1 second. Where the hell did I put it? Hold on. Let me launch the video. Then I do it. All right. Where is it? Where is this video? All right. Let me do this. Copy. Anyway, you're going to see something funny here in this video. Let's see if I put it right here. Paste. Here. Oh, shit. I got to do all this. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me do this. I'm trying to open it up in a window. Man, let me just give myself access to the damn thing. I thought I should be able to share the window. Give me 1 second. I thought I should be able to share the window here. Share screen window. Is this it? Oh, okay, this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so I got a chance to go into the Master Kim and I, we called this store a while back. I got a chance to go into the store today. And not to my surprise, it is an Ethiopian store owner. He owns the building. He's trying to sell it. So he has some contractors or something like that. Matter of fact, let me call Master Kim while I have you on the line. We can talk through this store. Let's see what Master Kim's number is. Master Kim. 678 3. Yeah, let me call Master Kim. And let me grab a beer while I'm at it.
Hey, what's going on, John? How are you,
Hey,
sir?
what's up, Master Kim? Master Kim, you won't believe this. You ain't gonna believe this, Master Kim.
Well, yeah, I can read your mind. I'm watching the stream.
So I got a chance to go into that store today, Master Kim.
Yeah, that's right. Did you meet up with the realtor, or who did you
No,
meet
I
up
met
with?
up with the owner, Master Kim. The owner.
You kidding me?
Yeah, and you ain't gonna believe this, Master Kim. Even and again, I'm not that type of person, but let me show you the store. Let me show you the video, and then you'll see what I'm about. You're gonna see something very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Where is my tab for this? Is here. Okay, let me play it. I'm talking about you right there, Master Kim. Damn. Hold on, let me show you the lights. Damn, I had to. Oh, there it is. You can see it now, right? You see the store? You're gonna see something. There's a funny moment coming up. Real funny. It's funny now. So basically, there's a hole in the floor of the store, Mexican. I ain't see the motherfucker. I'm looking at the coolers and everything else. Damn it, for a big ass hole in the floor. Big ass hole, man. And I fell in that motherfucker. Look, that's me falling in the hole right there. I'm in the hole. I'm down in the hole. I'm down in the hole, Mexican.
Yep. And John, did you get hurt at all? Any nails or debris, or did you cut it off?
Man, I just skinned up my leg real bad. I could have broke my leg though, honestly, man. I could have fell all the way down to the basement. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a big ass hole. But again, I wasn't paying attention. I'm looking, I got my head up, looking at the walls and the coolers and everything. And down I go in the hole, Mexican. Down I go in the hole. Luckily, man, I ain't break my leg, man.
So the floor is kind of rotted out.
Oh
obviously.
man, the floor is rotted out, man. Big ass hole.
So is there a full basement, or what is it like? A little?
Yeah, you got a full basement, man. But I fell down there. I fell down there, fucking hole, man. I was like, man, hell, just go into the basement. I was lucky. I was able to add enough energy, power to get home, man. But no one's gonna buy this Mexican other than an immigrant. It's too much work. It has upstairs apartments as well. And, I'm going to say this. Let me play the rest of the video so you can see the rest of it. So this is storage area back here. This is pretty nice ass, I guess, right? Little bathroom back there. And so that's the first floor. Decent sized store, Mexican. It's got a basement, a backyard, and upstairs apartments. But the man is old, as you said, Mexican man. I don't think anyone is going to buy it other than another immigrant. That's my thoughts on it. You know what else is interesting? Damn, did we lose Mexican? I think we lost Mexican. Sorry about that. But anyway, what's interesting? I was on Not.
No, I'm on.
Oh, okay.
I'm on.
Mexican. I was on Not for Humans panel the other day, and there was some guy named Chicago Rilla. And you have to be a member of the channel to go back and see it, but it really highlights what I'm saying. He put out a big clunky pair of Pharrell Adidas. Does anyone know what those look like? Anyone know the Pharrell Adidas? Pharrell Adidas, right? Pharrell Adidas. And they were big clunky ass pair of shoes. Pharrell Adidas. They were big and clunky, man. And this guy is 56 years old. His name is Chicago Rilla. And I asked him, I said, man, how much money do you think you have invested in shoes? Just shoes alone. And I want to say he said $50,000 worth of shoes. Sneakers. Strictly sneakers. 50,000 Mexican.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
For $50,000.
Overgrown kid. Those type of stupid ass investments that got nothing to do for the family, right? Or find stupid versus buying a lawnmower. Well, that's for the whole family to put the grass. It's just silly, man. Maybe lawnmower's the wrong example, but all of these material things just so this 56-year-old man could just keep on chasing after it. You know what I mean?
I got to show you the shoes, Mexican. Amazing. They're called the Pharrell Jellyfish Adidas. And at one point, he mentioned that he worked in the retail section of Adidas. So it's a damn retail store. And here are the shoes, Mexican, the Pharrell Jellyfishes. And so when he told me he had $50,000 invested in shoes, I said, damn, that's a business. Am I wrong? That's a business. A 56-year-old man with $50,000 worth of shoes? Look, they're $400. These are the Adidas Addicts Jellyfish. Adidas.
This is a black man, 56 years old, with $50,000 worth of sneakers. Again, now I contrast that with this business that's for sale. Master Kim, do you think you could probably pull off this business with 50 plus in cash? You probably could get this business based upon the way you negotiated with the man the last time, with his real estate agent. And the guy's old, Master Kim. He's older. He's not about to do a renovation in that business. Would you say that's fair? He's not about to renovate that building.
Oh, yeah. And was he there just kind of assessing the property or cleaning up today? Like, what was he there for?
I think he was there talking about he want to renovate it so he can sell it, but he's not going to do that. That building needs probably $300,000 worth of work. And he's Ethiopian in his 70s. He's not doing that. It's not happening.
Not to mention, he's probably got to pull permits on everything, get an engineer involved, or even just swinging a hammer. He's got to spend some money.
That's right. He's not about to do that, and then he doesn't even know if it'll work. Right? You know, he may not have the team to do it, as you said. And so, anyway, what also is interesting is a bunch of a couple of Hispanic workers out there looking, I guess, giving them some estimates.
Now, John, there's some slick way to try to, open the building and try to pimp like it's not been closed for 3 years, because the city is a little aloof. They're unfamiliar with whether it's been closed for 9 months or 3 years, So, but to get the CFO, if you act like a buster and go to the city and try to, hey, I'm thinking about opening this building, then that's when you're in trouble. But if you can sneak in, do the repairs, and then go down to the city, make it sound like you've only been closed for 9 months, and then the CFO, although you may have to get a CFO, it's not going to be the same. It's like versus, I think if you go in and have to apply like a dummy for a CFO, you got to bring all the electrical, all the HVAC, everything up to code. You know.
Hold on, Miss Kim. For the audience, CFO is a certificate of occupancy, right?
Yes.
That's what it means here. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Kim. But yeah, so.
Well, John, it makes sense for you to fool with this guy, right? Because you've got property on the same street 2 blocks away,
Yeah.
So it makes sense for you to fool with this guy. Plus, the real value of it. You can get that property fixed slowly over time with just the imperative stuff, the safety related stuff.
Yeah, there will be some synergies for me. There will be some synergies.
Yeah, and then plus you understand the type of drywall or plaster or whatever the older structures have. People from like Michigan or even in Florida, they don't understand what it's like to be looking at houses that are maybe over 100 years old. It's they're very expensive too, by the way, right?
Yeah.
You can't just come in and demo it and then build new, or just go to Home Depot and that there's more.
Hold on, Miss Kim. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Philippe, you on my stream, man. You want to talk some AI or something? Or you want me to give you a call right back?
I can't at the moment.
Yeah, you want me to give you a call back? You got any good Negro news, anything you want to talk about?
Let me hit you back.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Kim. Go ahead, Miss Kim.
No, I was just simply saying you understand all the ins and outs of that neighborhood versus the Ethiopian guy probably just doesn't, let alone. So you understand what you can get away with the city, what you can't get away with. And of course, that's important to you because you can come in on a very light budget and know what is imperative to fix to make it nice and hospitable, You know
what's interesting, Miss Kim? Someone mentioned this to me, said, damn, John, you fell down in a hole in this man's store. You could sue him. I still feel where I fell down. I'm not going to sue the guy. But, someone devious could easily sue this guy and then use it as leverage to take the damn store or get a good price on the store. That would be in play because he allowed me in, didn't tell me there was a big ass hazard. There were no lights on, and I fall down a deep ass hole. I could have killed myself. I could have broke my leg for sure, or my ankle for sure, and could have fallen all the way down to the basement. And anyway, so
John, that's a tough one, right? Because normally you would just develop equity by just not doing anything. Hopefully you can get a good deal, but this is a rather severe incident. This isn't just you tripped on a crack of his sidewalk, right? This is a very severe thing that happened.
Yeah, I'm inside the building, man, and I go down, man. Like, I didn't even see the big ass hole in the ground. And, you know, I tell you, I was once sued, man. A lady that shouldn't even been on my property got drunk and fell down. And she said, "Oh, I'm hurt." And the insurance company, they don't even see the veracity of the claim. They just pay, man. They just pay, like, and then they just raise your insurance in return. So, you know, for people that have a hustle mindset, I could have easily come up on $300,000-$400,000 easily. You know, hey, my legs, bro, I can't go to work. I'm injured, you know.
Well, John, I guess there is something to what someone said, and I think it could work like this, right? So today you go to a little medical clinic just to get looked at. You know, you got this pain. And then you know, if you did file a suit, you'd file a big suit, and then you do what's called a lis pendens, which means you cloud the title.
Yeah.
Right. So that means right off the bat, you already put like $200,000 or $250,000 filed the title because of litigation. So there's a way to monkey up the title.
Yeah.
That if old boy ever did want to sell, he's got to satisfy your lis pendens lien first. So, but you know, and that's unencumbered. You know, is it worth more to bring a claim against the guy and hold and cloud his title versus the asset? Maybe say that as plan B, right? Because if he doesn't budge or he thinks, you know, and there's a very good chance if he's Ethiopian, he might be old school. He's probably back on property taxes. He's probably, you know, I'd be curious whether he's got up-to-date insurance on the building, you know?
Yeah.
And the reason why is not that the guy doesn't have liquidity as much as this whole insurance concept is a Western thought.
Yeah.
You know? So he may not even have an insured. I would first, hey, you know, I emailed you a list of questions that I gave you about 2 years ago about that building. And they're still important today.
Yeah.
You know, the questions are still unanswered because that real estate lady did a trashy job. If anything, this is a good exercise on if you got a commercial building, just don't be giving it to some real estate person without commercial experience.
Yeah. Commercial experience is very important, particularly for a distressed asset like that. You need someone that probably has a Rolodex of connections of people who are looking to buy that type of asset. That's what I would think. I don't know. I'm not into commercial.
So, John, you seem to be showing us a list of Ethiopians, and what's that country next to Ethiopia? They're going to war back and forth.
Eritrea,
you know, these hardworking people that are just, you know, real estate dummies, whether it be commercial or residential or rentals. They just buy assets that they just don't know how to control, or there's no plan B.
You know, I think they are operators. Operators. You know, I covered this a while back. This is by I used to own a property right here near this place, even closer than where I am now. I'm still close to it. And I want to see if I can find this article. This right here. And it should be something like that. Yeah, I talked about this a while back during the Rick Chow case. And here's another convenience store owned by an Ethiopian. Here, life is cheap is the headline. One DC store, 16 surveillance cameras, and 2 murders in 7 months. And here's the Ethiopian guy, Samir Abraha. And Mike Johannes is his clerk. That they run an Ethiopian store, and they all teamed up to buy the store, so on and so forth right there. So they do have a strong presence. I've shown you another bodega where the women were running the store late in the evening. Late at night, I should say, midnight. They closed the store. So the Ethiopians do have a presence here. They're competing with the Indians and the Asians to run these ghetto businesses. What do you make of that, domestic camera?
John, I'm sorry. You know, although I've got an ear, but I can barely hear you.
Yeah.
And I think you're talking about that store that you've taken us to before, where it's all Ethiopians and the women are working.
Yeah, there was that one, and then there was another one around the corner that was profiled in the Washington Post, where there was several murders, and the guy had just bought the store, and only to be faced with murders. But it just shows you the strong Ethiopian presence as entrepreneurs in the ghetto. So that's kind of interesting to me. They have a strong presence.
It sure is. Yep. Hey, John, can we talk about the MLK building real quick?
Yeah.
What makes this incident highly unique and you falling through the floor is it was recorded.
Yeah.
Right? That is highly unusual that you didn't intend to, but there's proof that this took place. You know, that's highly unusual. So maybe you should bring a claim against these fools, you know, because it's you know, the guy will settle. I mean, but you know, but you're gonna have to take yourself to the hospital or something today, you know.
Yeah, that is interesting. You know,
man. And not that this is a tactic by any means, but this is rather severe what you went through today. This is not a what if it had been someone else?
Yeah. I mean, like, bro, I could have killed myself, or at least like me breaking my leg would be basically you know, like that puts me down. I can't do anything, you know. At that point, I really would say, hey man, you got to compensate me.
Yeah,
I'm down now.
Well, John, on the stream, I did say when I saw you in person, I was rather surprised. You got like a swimmer's body. That don't be fooled. Like on the screen, you look like an old man, but in person, that's not who you are. You're in shape.
Yeah, I'm in
so you're in shape, and you caught yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Can you imagine if I fell through it, or someone twice your weight? They would probably break both legs.
Yeah, you might have gone through the ceiling, the basement.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, that's very true. You know, Mexican, I wanted to do one more. I've been talking about mostly real estate today, and I saw a house for rent around the corner. And I'm betting that this house is only accepting Section 8 vouchers. I guarantee you. I bet this house is only accepting Section 8 vouchers. The problem, or the sad part is, for working class men, it's a stone's throw from the subway. A stone's throw from a metro bus hub to take you anywhere you want to go in the city, for the most part, with minimal transfers. But I bet that they only are taking Section 8 because of the Section 8 payment standards. And so that's what I'm going to call this this property. Let me see if I can put the property up here. See if I can show it to you. What do you think about that, Mexican? You think it'll be Section 8 only?
You know, John, it's interesting that you understand the business model of that and then mix that with the real estate value. So it's a very interesting, clean insight that you have. And you haven't been wrong. Everything that you've called relative to your next door neighbor's house, or other houses, or other properties have been spot on. I don't think you've ever been surprised, you know. So I think your spidey senses and experience are probably spot on. It's going to have to be Section 8, just like what you mentioned earlier in your stream and others, you know.
Yeah, they just
there's more money, although it's destructive to the property and the long-term value, is you can't resist that type of money. And that also happened with the hoteliers, you know.
Yeah.
The government was given so much money to take care of these idiotic migrants, but they know long-term it will destroy the future of that hotel.
Hey, two things before I call
they did.
Hey, two things before I call this real estate agent. Mexican, did you see the Airbnb review message that my buddy shared with me?
Yes, about someone that could afford a hotel room, but then they took the Airbnb, and then they're the first to complain, and it actually hurts. They're going to leave a bad complaint, so their expectations are higher.
Yeah, you know what I equate it to is like a customer mismatch. You have a low-end customer go to a high-end restaurant, they're going to complain about the prices because the quality of food is going to be higher. You have a high-end person go to McDonald's, and he's going to be complaining about the service and the quality of food. It's a customer mismatch. And so someone booked my buddies an Airbnb that was not accustomed to coming into the ghetto. The people screaming and catcalling and, you know, hanging out all night. He was like, hell no. I can't live over here. I can't even stay over here for a couple of days. So he canceled. Those are the people that are able to cancel. The people that are unable to cancel, they're more likely to write you a bad review if your place isn't A1, up to par. Because even though they don't have a lot of money, they're booking Airbnb, and Airbnb has a reputation of really nice places. So that is kind of the catch-22 that my buddy is into. And so it's kind of like strikes in YouTube, where you get too many bad reviews, it's like a strike, and you're out for a while. They make you sit down and review your listings. So
hey, John?
Yeah.
May I ask you about the tenant that did the strong arm robbery. Ultimately, he did leave. What triggered him to actually leave? Do you think that somewhere deep down inside his piece of shit little brain and heart, he had some like a half an ounce of dignity, or what triggered him to actually leave?
Man, I'm gonna have to see that on the members only channel. You know, I have this thing. I was telling my buddy, the guy with the Airbnbs, years ago, he used to rent for me, and I was telling him about my big joker. I call it the big joker. Then when I really need to get a tenant out, I can do that. And so I didn't actually use it in this instance, but it's kind of like you mentally massage him out, because he could have easily stayed as long as he wanted. The tenants know how to do these things.
John, can you accept members only right now?
No, not yet. Not yet. It's gonna have probably. Come on. It'll probably have to be on the Clips channel, because the Clips is probably closer to monetization. We'll see. I don't know. Than the Urban Landlord channel. I think they both probably are about the same track.
If the Clips is set up, I'll do it right now.
No, it's not set up yet. I think he maybe showed on some subscriber hours or something like that. But here's the house I wanted to show you. Where is this house? Oh, I have it. Let me show you. So here's a house that I guarantee you is probably, and they have to dance around these things. They can't say, yo, this is Section 8 only. But I guarantee you that this house is Section 8 only. And this is the government moving the market in ways that harm the little man. So here's the house. You can see the houses around it. These are, just regularly solid brick homes. It's not far from me. I'm not sure what the address is, but I can call her and we're going to see what she says. This is Arnez, Washington. I'll be surprised if she even answers the phone, Maskim. What do you think? Maskim, you think she'll even answer the phone?
Yeah, she needs to cut. Yeah, she'll answer she needs to cut them bushes back a little bit.
I think that may be the other side of the house. But again,
next door, yes, yeah. I'm sorry, you're right.
Maybe, but the grass looks trimmed down. It's the other side of the house. Maybe needs to be trimmed. You want to talk to her, or do you want me to talk to her, Maskim? We could tag team or what?
No, is this for the store?
No. This is a house that I saw for rent. I want to prove out a concept.
Oh yeah, that's out of my wheelhouse. That's all you.
All right, let me call the person. I'm gonna put you on three-way messaging. Hold on for 1 second. 202-907-3053. Did it go through? Hello? Anybody on here? Shit. I must have hung up. 202-907. I got a new phone, by the way. 3053. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. This is unbelievable right here. When I show you this, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hopefully they answer the phone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, shit. They're going to answer the phone. Trust me. They're going to answer. Let me show you the name of the company, right? Can you see this? Damn, let me put myself on. Let me show you the runner. Oh, shit. This is unbelievable.
Please leave your message.
I got to call them back. They got to answer the phone.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Oh, yeah, I was calling about that house you have on Alabama Avenue.
It's actually apartments, 3 apartments.
Oh, I thought it was a house for rent.
It says for rent, but it's their apartment.
It's not the whole house?
No, that's a multi-unit complex. 3 units.
Oh, what, y'all divided the house up into apartments and shit?
No, it was built that way.
Really?
Mm-hmm. My uncle bought it in 1948.
Oh, wait, oh,
3
wow,
units.
okay. So what's the name of your company? The Affordable Housing Solutions Company?
Yep.
Oh, how long y'all been in business?
Phew.
I mean, I never heard of you. That's why I asked.
Yeah. You know, we've been around. This is 25, so 27 years.
Damn. Well, anyway, I'm
98.
interested in the property. In renting. What do y'all have? 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, or what?
2 bedrooms and 1 bedroom. The basement is 1 bedroom. The upper 2 units are 2 bedroom.
Okay, and how much is the 1 bedroom? How much is the 2?
Well, depends on if you want them with utilities or without.
Okay, can you quote me both prices for the 1 bedroom?
Yeah, so the upper one for the 1 bedroom is just the same because
that's in the basement, right? It's in the basement,
right?
Right. Gotcha.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is $1350. That's the basement apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, and it the other 2 comes with 1 parking space associated with that, but the basement doesn't
in the back. Okay,
convey a parking space.
Okay, and so how much is 2 bedrooms?
2 bedrooms, $1,650, and that covers water, gas, and everything other than electricity.
And you have move-in fees, I'm guessing?
You
got move-in fees?
Yeah, the same.
Okay, so it's first and
so
last
one
month rent.
1 month. Yeah, exactly.
So for the 2 bedroom, you're looking at about $3,500 to move in?
Yep.
And for the 1 bedroom, about, what did you say, $1,200? What did you say, how much?
No, $1,350. So $2,700.
$2,700. And is that all the move-in fees, or is it like credit check fees, something like that?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. No.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
No pets.
No pets. Okay, cool. What else? Do you accept Section 8?
Of course.
Okay. I don't have Section 8 though. I was just wondering if you accepted it, because sometimes I don't like living with
No.
Section 8
Yeah.
I don't like living with Section 8
I get
people
you.
sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm in property management myself. I'm in property management, so I have to deal with Section 8 people sometimes.
Well, hey,
they're a little rough to live around. Is anyone living there now?
So, we just had some people move out. Yep.
Were they on Section 8?
No.
Okay. So, but you think?
But we're on the registry, so we're part of the DC registry. So everything's.
Oh damn! They got a registry for that.
DC registry. Yeah. You know, you have to not Section 8, but I'm talking about the city guidelines to do the business.
Oh really? Damn, that's great. But it's right by the subway, right? It's like a block from the subway.
Man, you got it.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is, because I'm on Congress.
Congress, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can tell you know your way around, man.
Yeah.
You know the ins and out of the business.
Yeah. Man, I'm a landlord myself. You know what I mean?
See?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the unit next to my uncle's, you know, well, we own it now, but my uncle before, the same. Those are 2 units, and then on the other side it's 2 units, but his was 3 units.
Man, what's it
so,
like?
But yeah, most people when they drive by, they just think they're.
What's it like renting over there in Southeast, man? Because I rent over here in Southeast, boy, rough.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it just we haven't had any difficulties. You know, the screening process. You just do that, and you just talk to people with respect. You kind of let them know what they can expect of you as a owner and property manager, and then you just say, hey, what you expect of them. So, you know,
but hell, you can tell them anything you want to tell them. They ain't gonna follow your rules half the damn time.
Hey, I'm telling you, we haven't had any issues yet.
Is that right?
We haven't had
you've been
any
doing it
issues
how long?
yet.
How long you been doing it?
Over 27 years now. Again, we started in '98 in San Jose, California.
Oh, you started. How long you been doing it in DC though?
DC since 2000.
Oh man, we in the 2020 club together.
Man,
I've been putting these blacks out, putting them in for 20 some years, man.
See what I'm talking about? That's what I can tell. You knew, you know the ins and outs of the business, man. You knew exactly what questions to ask. So that's the thing. But no. I've had great tenants, you know, Section 8ers and things like that. I mean, I've had people tenants who were so good they tracked me down to make sure
Let me ask you this question.
Pay me.
Let me ask you, what does Section 8 pay these days relative to like the private market?
They've changed it significantly.
Is it good? Yeah.
It all relates to the unit and the location.
You mean the condition of the unit?
So,
right.
Yeah.
What are they paying in Southeast right now for like a 1-bedroom?
Well, believe it or not, it's more than we just finished talking about.
I know.
For 1-bedroom, you get 1,600-1,700
in the ghetto for real. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the crime and the violence affects your occupancy?
Yeah. Well, what about the occupancy?
Do you think the crime and the violence affects like who wants to live there? Because it's a great location in terms of being by the subway, the buses, but like you know, you think so?
I mean, come on, it ain't Capitol Hill, we know that, but people are moving over because people now are finding out that Congress Heights Metro is only 2 metro stops from Navy Yards.
Yeah,
there's only 3 stops from the wharf, and and that is direct stop there to Howard University, 25 minutes away.
Yeah,
direct. You can get off, so you don't have to.
You know what's interesting?
So
about
when
that?
people find out that,
hey, you know what's interesting about that, bro? And I don't know if you know.
What's that?
I don't know if you know what's going on. I'm giving you some little inside baseball.
Come on, brother, I'm listening.
All right, have you been hearing about what's going on in Howard right now?
No.
Bro, I've been killing their ass.
I'm listening.
I've been killing their ass. So Howard,
I'm listening.
Doesn't have enough housing for their income students. They allow more students than they could house. So they contracted out with an apartment building in Prince George's County in Hyattsville. You have to ask yourself why Hyattsville and not Southeast DC. That's a good question, right? Why take your students outside of the city? But they took them all the way to Hyattsville. But that's a long way from Howard. You know that.
Yep.
What did you say?
Yeah.
How long did it take to get from that house you got to Howard?
25 minutes.
On the train.
I already know.
On the train.
We've timed it.
No, hell, you could ride the bus there in 40 minutes because I ride the bus. I ride the 53.
Yep. We time it.
So I'm making hay, bro, out of rented. Look, I got Howard students all over by Ballou, Martin Luther King. You heard me?
I know where they are.
I got houses over there, right by Ballou, Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Like,
see,
right? Because Howard students don't want to live in PG County. They don't want to live there.
Yeah.
PG County ain't got that. It's lost its swag. DC
got
the swag. And
there you go.
The swag. And so I've been making hay out of the Howard students, man.
Well, I'm glad to hear. Glad to hear.
Yeah, I've been making and so what I'm saying is,
I'm all ears.
Look, I want to tell you something that you may or may not be interested in this, but you know what I do? I'm gonna put it in dope man parlance if you don't mind. I chop my dope up and sell it dime bag by dime bag. I don't rent apartments, bro. I don't rent apartments, bro. I've been doing this. You ever been to landlord tenant court? That's a question. Have you ever been to landlord tenant court?
No, I hear you.
Have you ever been to landlord tenant court? Hello?
What do you think about
I'm asking you a question. Have you ever been to landlord tenant court? Can you hear me? Did we lose him? He's still here. Hello?
What about joint-based bowling?
Yeah, I'll get to that. Hey, let me ask you, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
For about 2 minutes, I didn't.
Okay, let me ask you.
Look like you went.
Let me ask you this. Damn, I forgot. What was the question I was about to ask him? What was the question I was asking him? I forget. What the fuck was I asking?
You were telling me about Howard and how you're changing.
This is what I was going to ask you. So you know what I do, bro? Like, I chop the dope up. Instead of renting the whole apartment, I rent rooms.
Yeah, you're doing the house hacking.
It's like breaking that shit down into nickel bags, dime bags.
Yeah, I know.
Because most of the people ain't got a whole ounce money. They got nickel bag, dime bag money. And you know what else I do, bro?
What's that?
I charge by the week or by weekly because all of these people are working Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever. They getting paid every day, man. I charge some people by the day.
Yep.
And I charge more by the day than say by the 10. Hey, you ever been in landlord tenant court?
Nope. Never had to go.
Me either.
See what I'm saying? And now, how rare is that? How rare is that? You and I never been.
Ghetto been here in the 2020 club.
So we know what we're doing.
We're in the 2020 club.
We know what we're doing.
Hey, do you live over here in the ghetto or where you live?
Yeah, I'm over there.
Really? It ain't that bad over here. You know, the blacks act a little wild every now and then. But
yeah, I'm there. You know, we got Dunkin' Donuts over there. We got Chipotle there.
Is that your Dunkin' Donuts?
No, that ain't. I
thought you
wish
about
that
to.
shit. They should. They should give me some percentages of that.
Well, why that? Your tenants.
Yeah.
Man, it's good to talk to a black landlord, man. I get a lot of calls from people that are looking for apartments and stuff like that. If you ever interested in chopping that dope up the way I do, man, I can give you a lot of expertise on how to do it with minimal friction.
You
make more money.
I did that. Not to do tit for tats, but I did that in what year? 96 in San Jose, California.
Yeah.
I rented the place, and that wasn't mine. It was a rental.
You did some arbitrage.
I rented the place. It was six bedrooms, 3.5 baths.
Yeah.
I took the big master bedroom.
Yeah.
And stuck tenants in every room there was. That's how I saved my money to buy my first property. And then I lucked out. My first property wound up in San Jose, California. My first property wound up being a duplex. And with me, I didn't know, but there in California, duplex means both sides. You don't buy one.
Yeah.
So when the guy told me it was $210,000 what they were asking, and I said, "Which side?" And he said, "Huh?" I said, "Which side is it?"
Yeah.
He said, "No, Arnez, you get both sides."
Yeah.
I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." So I bought that one for $210,500. They were asking $210,000. It was a foreclosure. I offered them more. I offered them $210,500.
Yeah.
But I countered on them.
You wanted to make sure you got it. Is that right? That's why you offered.
Make sure I got it because it was on a beautiful street. Yeah, it's on a beautiful street. This is my first deal. First property I ever owned.
My nigga.
And we negotiated that because it was a bank loan. The bank allowed me to pick out all updated. Yeah. So I picked out all the cabinetry, the floors, the appliances, and so I started out. And I asked my realtor, I said, because one side was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The other side was 2 bedroom, 1 bath.
Yeah.
I said, how much you think I can get for those? He said, well, for the 2 bedroom, 1 bath, you should be able to get about $850.
Yeah.
And for the 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, you should get probably about $1,100.
Yeah.
I said, okay. Hey, next week, $1,750 for the 3 bedroom, and I moved into the 2 bedroom.
Live for free, damn near, huh? Live
So
for free.
I started out with net from the beginning. So that's the game. So now you know why I fell in love with the business.
Hey, I know. Hey, how did you end up here in DC from San Jose, man?
Huh?
How did you end up here in DC from San Jose?
Yeah. Well, I came to DC because of my wife. I met my wife here where I was going back and forth.
You got a sister gal there. You got a sister gal.
You already know. You already know, man. Yeah, I don't have a Jennifer.
Well,
I don't have no Jennifer.
I got me 2 sister gals.
Yeah. No Jennifer, brother. My wife is from Jamaica.
Oh, you got you a tether. What they call them tethers and shit. I got me an African man, but I got me a good old black ass sister gal too.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking
about? Yeah.
No, man, that's why you holding up. That's why I'm holding up. We don't have, we don't come with all that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah. Man, it's good to talk to a landlord, man, like
Strategic.
myself. It's good to talk to a landlord
You
like
got to
myself.
be strategic.
You got to be, man. You got to be very strategic. You know what I'm saying? It's good to talk to a landlord like myself. Man, I'm gonna pass some people on to you. I always get a lot of calls from people that looking for apartments. I just strictly rent the rooms, man. So it's easy to kick their ass out if they get behind.
I can't hear you, brother.
Oh, you can't hear me? Yeah, I just strictly rent rooms. So it's easy for me to put them out.
I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, I just strictly rent rooms, so it's easier for me to put them out. Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? I don't know what happened. We're losing.
I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I don't know what happened. Let's see. Give me a second. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I ain't gonna hold you up, man.
You lost me for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I'll probably call you back, man, see how the rent is going, man, and see if you if you ever decide to do it room by room, I can give you some insight on that. I mean, you know what you're doing.
I would love that. But we can talk about that and a couple things now. For DC, right now to find a
unit to do that.
Yeah.
That's where I see DC the complications. So I know you said PG is losing its swag, but PG, you can find a 4.3 real easily.
I don't want no PG, man. I've had a lot of people move in from like Charles County PG because DC got the buses to run all night long. So if you're a working class guy, DC, just think about where you are. Let's say you work late. The bus drop you off right at your house.
Yeah.
But if you lived in Charles County, it don't work, right? It don't work, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Right? And so I've had people call me like, yo, I'm looking for a room. I got to get out of Charles County because I can't take advantage of working late hours, overtime, because how am I going to get home at night?
Yeah.
Right?
So tell me, though, where are you going to find big property at decent value other than off of Kenilworth Avenue up there, off of Nanny Helen?
Boy, I got look, here's my thought, man. Every house I bought.
You got what now?
Every house I bought in the ghetto, it been like a grandmama house. It been some grandmama. I bought one house from a crackhead, only one. And let me tell you, this is a funny story. So I'm on Georgia Avenue at the Bank of America, right there below the Metro. And so we go into closing, and the damn crackhead thought that he got his money right then and there. Literally, the crackhead said, "Wait a minute, I don't get money today." Like, we're at the settlement table. He said, "Wait a minute, I don't get any money today." And the lenders and title people say, "No, it doesn't. You either come in a check or whatever, however it is closing." And so he said, "I'm not gonna close." And so I said, "Man, how much you need, man, to sign these papers?" He said, "I need at least $1,000. I said, "Damn. The Bank of America ATM is right up the street. It only spits out $800. He took $800 to sign the papers. I bought that house for under $150,000, man. And it was in good condition. He was working, but he got off on crack. And, he was married and everything, man. He had a good life. Right?
Well, hey, you know what? We got to talk, man. We got to find a time to talk. What's your name?
John. I got some real good strategies, man.
That's what I said. You got to be strategic.
Yeah,
so strategy.
Yeah, I got some real good strategies, man, in the ghetto. A lot of these older people that, hell, they can't even go up and down the stairs in their home.
So they're kind of trapped on one floor or whatever. But not a lot of DC row houses have bathrooms on the first floor, right? So that's the problem, right? No bathroom on the first floor for these old people. The kitchen's on the first floor, but there's no bathroom. So they go upstairs, then what do you gotta do? They can't come back downstairs because they can't travel those stairs. That's the opportunity right there. You see what I'm saying? Like, I have tenants that are missing legs or disabled, and they have to be on the first floor. They can pass on a shower every now and then, but they got to use the bathroom all day, every day. And so bathrooms, or at least a half bath on the first floor, allows them to continue to live in their home. They don't go upstairs anyway, so why not rent it and get you some money coming in? Oh, hold on.
Hello, Moto.
Hold on. I don't even know how to answer this phone. Hello? Hello?
Man, I couldn't hear you at all.
Oh, man, I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway, so what I was saying is I have tenants that are missing legs and shit like that. And so they can't get upstairs to use the bathroom. So the houses that I have with private baths, they more or less are like a captive audience. I got them like fish on the hook. They can't get off. I can charge them premiums because there are very few DC row houses with bathrooms on the first floor. Get it? You see, right? And so think about how many old Black women in this neighborhood that are stuck upstairs at the end of the night because they don't want to go downstairs to the kitchen because they can't travel the stairs. What they need is
so. Let me ask you this: what's the smallest setup you would look for?
You mean a house
in your place?
You mean a house? You know, all the DC row houses are more or less the same size, give or take. You know, over here in Congress Heights.
So you're talking about 3.2 or 3.1?
They're usually 3.1 and 3.1.5, something like that. They're usually 3.1. Usually 3. I guess you could say they 3.1.5.
So okay, so you got a 3.1.5. What do you wind up turning it into?
Okay, I turn it into one in the basement, one on the first floor, and 3 upstairs. It's 5 minimum.
Wow.
Minimum. And you know what? Yeah, you know what I rent them for, bro? Nothing but dope.
What's that?
$325. I have, you know how some of these row houses, they got like a little real small ass room. I can only put a twin bed in there, so I furnish all my listings.
Yeah.
I do.
No, you know what you call it now?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's a New York apartment.
Well, this is a room.
That's the bedroom. It's a New York bedroom.
Yeah, a New York bedroom. So I do anywhere from like $275 to $300 for a room per week. That's for the smallest room, and the other rooms go up accordingly. And then typically, like in the basement, I have a private bath, so of course that's gonna make more. You know, there's usually a half bath in the basement. I just make it a private bath, so of course you're gonna make more there. Hell, you can do your whole mortgage off the damn in the basement, charging weekly. People pay you $400 a week.
Dude, we may have to talk. So you're doing the New York bedroom for $275 a week?
Minimum. And that's a small ass room.
Wow.
It's a small. It only accommodates a twin size bed. It's that small.
Yeah. And so the larger of the 2 bedrooms, how do you deal with that? Leave it as one or split it?
No, you know, upstairs in the DC row houses is 3 bedrooms, right? Most DC row houses have 3 bedrooms upstairs. So that's 3 bedrooms.
You're right.
That's 3 bedrooms upstairs. The living room, dining room, I take away the dining room, make that a bedroom, right? So
okay.
Right?
All right.
And then now you got the bedroom
now,
in the basement.
Let's change your thinking cap. My setup over there, 2-1.
Yeah.
Each unit. How would you do that for house hacking?
Well, the problem with I like to be explicit. The problem with renting over here in the ghetto, to me, is that sooner or later somebody's gonna lose their job, something like that. That's just been my experience. And so I rather rent to them individual rooms. You'll make a lot more, in my opinion, and there's less risk. If one person can't pay it, the other person can.
Right.
Worst come to worst, just put both of their ass out. and just start anew. Right? But and I get paid much more frequently. I get paid weekly, bi-weekly.
Yep.
I don't let anybody go a whole month not paying me. You're gonna pay as we go, as opposed to once a month. No one gets paid once a month, so why would you allow them to pay you once a month?
Yep. Hey, so I'm Arnaz. What's your first name?
John.
Which one?
John.
How are we spelling that?
John.
AOHN?
J. Like John the Baptist.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect, John.
Hey,
so
what days you around there, man? I'll stop by.
You let me know what day you want to come by and we'll make it happen.
Is this
so within your schedule?
I think I called you on a different number than you called me back on. You want me to say which number should I say?
Yeah.
Say this number.
This is my primary.
All right, my man.
Yeah, this is my primary.
Yeah, I give you a call.
So that's why I called you back on this.
Indeed, we'll talk.
Okay.
All right.
So just let me know. Just say, hey, I'm John. Just let me know when is the best time for you.
Indeed.
We'll make it happen.
All right, my man.
All right, John. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. It wasn't bad there. A fellow DC landlord right around the corner from me. Landlord Files 101. So it fits right in with the stream. What do you think, John? Armand? John. I am trying to form a link with some of the landlords because in this environment, there can't be many people that want to rent to Black people. So we could form a somewhat of a, what do they call that in economics? What do they call that in economics? It is can't remember. What is it? It's something like, what is the name of it? In economics, there's a term called a near monopoly. I'm looking for another term though. There it is, oligopoly. For those of you that don't know what that means, oligopoly is actually it's an economic term. If the market is instead controlled by a small group of powerful companies or people, rather than just one, most users already agree that the correct term is oligopoly. And you'll see that. And so I'm guessing that among the landlords in DC, there probably aren't many Arnazes or John Galts. And so an oligopoly is a market structure where a small number of large firms dominate and control most of the market share. And I'm guessing that in DC, in the low income housing market, the Arnazes and the John Galts, small numbers, but a large share of the as a percentage of landlords. So in that effect, what you have is an oligopoly. That's my thoughts there. Anyway, there's something that I was thinking about. And it's interesting that I was able to reach out to this guy, which brings to mind, again, he's doing well in the ghetto. Why isn't she doing well in a much nicer area? That was what I covered earlier. Lady whose property hasn't been rented all year. What else do we have here? Before I do this, well, let me do this first. Here's a list of properties in the area where this guy has his listing. Let me zoom in a little bit. And so you're going to see the property rents are $6,300, $1,100, $1,200, $2,400, $3,500. Most of these prices are going to be based on Section 8 rents. Look at it. Who's going to pay $3,500 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in an apartment building in the ghetto? This is a Section 8 rent. Matter of fact, is that his same number? It can't be. Let me call these people. And I'm guessing that they're going to say, hell yeah, we accept Section 8. Who else has the money to pay that kind of rent? God damn. 1 second here. 202. Man, I got a new phone. This shit is kind of weird to work here. Oh. What the fuck? How the hell do you find the recent numbers in this shit? Keep it. That's Messy Kim. What's going on, Messy Kim? Yeah. Hold on. Let me put you on the other Bluetooth here. Give me 1 second, Messy Kim. All right. Go ahead, Messy Kim.
But one thing I thought was kind of important, unless I misheard him, when he said he had zero problems, I think it's a matter of perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's able to get $3,000 to $2,000 of gunpowder from these people, they're on their best behavior because they're vested.
Yeah.
Month, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a big perspective that he's also dealing with people that have got that kind of cheddar to put down on the property. Just like you mentioned, you broke it down. You know, minimally get the key in. The key money is like $3,500. The first, the last, the this, the that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or grand are going to be on their best behavior because, and those are not the people that you're dealing with. You're dealing with people that are just far removed from that level of stability. So just to put things in perspective, people are on their best behavior when they're, you know, showing off the big chunk of change. So, but anyways, that was it, man. Great stream.
I still have a hard time believing what he's saying. You know, he may be getting the creme de la creme of the regular renters by lowering the rent. What he said was $1,300, whereas Section 8 will at least pay him $1,600. But he's going to have a problem with those people too. There's just no way. And that's why I say it's a matter of perspective. He's accepting a lot of late payments, some aggressive behavior from tenants, but he's able to brush it off kind of like I am, and he doesn't see it as that big of a deal. That's what I'm guessing. But very interesting. You know, one of the things he asked me, I didn't get a chance to respond to him, was he asked me about Bowling Air Force Base. Bowling Air Force Base is right near his property and mine. Homeland Security is even closer. I have never run into someone that works in Homeland Security, and he's probably never run into someone that works at Bowling. They're right across the highway from each other in Southeast.
Right.
And so I guess he was asking me, I'm curious, I should have asked him, follow up with what he wanted to know about that. But I guarantee you that if he's renting for $1,300, those are not Bowling Air Force Base employees.
Right.
They make a lot more. They can pay a lot more than $1,300 if you're living on Bowling Air Force Base. So he's probably renting to, you know, kind of people like me. Anyway, he sounded like he was interested in hearing what I had to say though.
Yeah, very interesting. It sounded like, you know, maybe he wants to turn his, I'm assuming 2-bedroom, when he said 2 and 1, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, very interesting. But again, I just thought everything matter perspective. The more people are vested, the more I think it's going to curtail their behavior at first until they run out of money. Because that's what happened to, obviously, old boy, the junkyard dog, right? Him and his girls scrambled to come up with some money, and then over time they add it all up and then try to turn the tables on you. What trashy people they are.
Did you see that I found some Narcan in the unit that he was occupying?
No, I missed. I'm going to go back and watch the beginning of this stream. I've been off and on the stream, but yeah, I'm going to go back and watch. That's crazy.
I found like a Narcan in his listing. I said, damn. A Narcan. So the guy was what that fentanyl? That's a fentanyl addict, right? Or heroin?
Yeah.
One of the two, yeah.
Right. So I think if they overdose, that brings them back from the dead, I believe.
Yeah. Damn. So I'm guessing.
Don't get rid of it. if it's unopened, I think it's a one-time use. So that if it's don't get rid of it.
In my pocket. I got that shit in my pocket.
Yeah.
I think they put that shit up their nose, Mr. Kim. Look.
Yeah.
Look, this is it right here. It's a Narcan. Let's see. Can you see it? Yeah, this shit is in my pocket.
Yeah, you're in the area that I think that they were giving it away free too.
Oh man,
but those are generally expensive.
Is it really? So this is
yeah.
So let's say pocket. So look, if he fucking crash out, his girlfriend got to put this up his nose.
Yeah. And they might have it just because they're just got it somewhere free and just like couldn't help themselves.
Lord have mercy, I done heard it all today, Masculine. I have heard it all. So that big, dumb, violent black, he may not even, what does that shit do to you? Because he may not have even known how he was behaving toward me.
Yeah, I think it breaks him out of the overdose stage or whatnot. I don't know. But John, there's one thing I was actually going to call you offline about, but I guess who cares? It's online.
Yeah.
But I was going to mention to you that, some additional thoughts of, all these people, and I don't want to mention any names in particular, that think that they know the hood, but yet they live in the white suburbs, but yet they want to dictate how you're supposed to act in the hood, how you're supposed to do this and that. It reminds me of the French aristocrats that didn't live in Haiti, but 5,000 miles away in Paris, France, they try to dictate what takes place in Haiti. Is Haiti's going to hell? Or the British aristocrats, right? Or in the UK, trying to dictate what goes on in the United States, but yet they don't live amongst the settlers, So it's almost like and I'm not trying to say Izzy Bands, but you've mentioned him many times. Guys like Izzy Bands and many others are actually the black aristocrats living in the nice white suburbs, but chiming in on how one should act and do act in the hood, but yet they're far removed from the tragedy of what's going on at the street level versus you're not. You're there. You are trying to make a difference. You do walk amongst the problem, I guess, right? So, and I wanted to throw in the French aristocrats because essentially that is how they're living, and yet also commenting on what should take place in the hood, some levels of control and behavior and all that, but they themselves are not. So they're the aristocratic, bougie blacks living, high white suburbs.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Mr. Kim. Which brings me to one of the things I wanted to focus on today. I was going to react to this. I don't do a lot of reacts, but I was going to react to this. I wasn't just going to publish a video, but I said, what? More people will watch the lives in the video, and so it is a react to Mr. Fantastic. You ever watch Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Kim?
Oh, I know that you've mentioned him before in the past. Refresh my memory of who he is or what channel he is.
I don't know much about him. I want to say he's in the military. Master Kim, give me 1 second. I need to run to the restroom quickly. Hold the audience down.
Yep.
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hello everyone. What a great, interesting show. And just to put things in perspective again, John actually does live in this community, walks up and down as you see on all of the streams or whatnot. And what's very confusing is the pricing of all these houses is very, very high. And I don't understand it because it is kind of intermixed in the hood. And in some situations, walking distance from bougie high-end areas. None of the houses are cracked out, closed, and abandoned. None of that. They're all full of people. And it's a very confused. When I go there, I've been there 2 or 3 times. I'm wildly confused because I'll see like thugged up people hanging out on a porch, and then I'll see like some young white kind of collegiate looking girl jogging with running pants on, and it's just very confusing. The economy of cultures I see, in the blocks where John lives or whatnot, and it's kind of running distance from very affluent areas, which causes more confusion. How is all this hood rat danger coexisting in this kind of affluent uppity area? It's very strange. and confusing. So, but with that being said, it's probably one of the very few MLKs in the nation that are off the hook, thriving, whether it's thriving hood or thriving bougie upscale stuff, it's thriving. And that's what's confusing me. I don't see abandonment, boarded up buildings, nothing like that. So every time I come to that area, I want to open up a check cashing store or you buy, we fry store, take an EBT all day long.
You know, Mexican is interesting. I was talking to Lisa this morning. I'm riding my bike up and down, in the ghetto. I'm like, it's weird to see all of these nice cars. At one point, I saw a string of cars. It was like a Tesla, a BMW, Mercedes. BMW, Mercedes. New late model Camry. On. I'm like, damn, this is $1,000 worth of car payments and insurance and gas and maintenance.
Yeah.
And this is deep in the ghetto, man. DC is a very different beast. What was I about to show you? Oh, this is Mr. Fantastic. I don't know how long you want to hang on here, Master Kim. But this is a review of Mr. Fantastic. I've been covering a lot about Howard University because I've done pretty well off of Howard's dysfunction. And so I went up on Mr. Fantastic panel and I kind of steered the conversation over to Howard's dysfunction in the real estate. How you can make money servicing kind of like the dysfunction of Black people. And that's what I was talking about here. So let me go. And I'm going to jump to the right point here. Give me 1 second. Let me jump to the right point. He's having a moment of silence here. He needs a John Galt on this panel. And here, let me see, where should I go? I think it's about right. Let's see, right here is where I go. Here, the event occurred. That's like legacy knowledge being passed down. The Blacks, by and large, don't have that. They're
That's
the
not
first.
true.
Well, I didn't say, absolutely, but I'm saying in general, look at what's going on at Howard University. Look at the women that are funding those, their children to go there. These are poor people themselves spending $65,000 a year in college. For college at a mid-tier at best university. Hey, Master Kim, are you able to hear this? Audience, are you able to hear this?
Yes.
Master Kim, did you have to pay any money out of pocket for your son to go to college? Curious to know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then they don't play. Yeah, because the Polk band only covers so much. Yeah, I'm going to say easily like $3,700.
Is that all? 30, well, that's right. Your child went to school.
No, per semester.
Okay, but
yeah,
your
in-state. Yeah,
your child went to school in-state, and so Howard is a
in-state,
private.
that's correct.
Howard is a private college, so there are no in-state exceptions, stuff like that. And I want you to listen to Mr. Fantastic come to the agreement with John Galt. They're not building off of what their parents did. They're starting anew, trying to learn something and get a job. I don't think America is set up that way.
And you know who those parents are? Them parents. I live in DC. Them parents.
I live in DC. I'm in DC right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm in Ivy City, about to go walk in the Trader Joe's.
I'm in Congress Heights.
Them same parents are the ones who got laid off, 600,000 lost their jobs up there now, like in they mid to late 40s, a little bit older than us.
And a lot of those Blacks who are government workers, and again, you can't pass down a government job. Maybe you can get your child a government job, but there's nothing being passed down there. There's no legacy of connection, anything like that. And you live in DC, so you know better than anybody. As soon as your mama or daddy retire from the government, the connections are gone.
Well, you can't really pass that stuff down. That's just like a new. Like I moved here in 2014. I think I was 28 in 2014. And rent when I came up here, rent was like $8, $9. I was living in things like damn near. You had 12. Anything people.
I want to get to Howard.
The economics aspect of it, and then people start understanding how the cycles work. You understand your what do you call it?
Democrat will never be elected again.
Where for what?
If they teach financial literacy, that'll kill the Democrat Party.
I mean,
alleged votes basically for the.
You're assuming that people would talk and would be able to understand it and implement it. But
that's what I'm saying. So and that's why I'm saying I don't think that would be a problem. Because like I said, I don't think it would be most people that would be able. It wouldn't be a flip of where everyone just whatever. I think though you get a nice 5 to 10% bump though of people, and then now you have enough voters to understand. Hey man, this ain't a quote unquote candidate as much as it is this financial issue or this financial issue or this fucking local
education, right? Lack of oil, restriction.
Yeah, corn, 2 people.
Things that this is a whole other thing. I don't want to turn into a 10-4 Tuesdays, but and
you ever thought it could be the other way around?
I appreciate you, brother, for coming through, man. From Misery, brother. Come back anytime, brother.
I mean, we brought in millions of people from very low IQ countries. You have to dumb it down for them. I just had a girl. She's renting a room for me right now. She's black. We educated her all the way up through the 12th grade, giving her the ability to go to college, whatever, for free. She couldn't even get a job at Chipotle, man. I published a video on my channel. And see, this is what I'm saying, what you were saying, Master Cam, like the Mr. Fantastics of the world are isolated from the Waynishas. They don't know how systemic or how deep the problem goes. I don't think they know. They think Waynishas and JPs are just one-offs. But in reality, it's a lot of them, and they can do a lot of damage. She said, I don't even know how to do math. And a black woman turned her down for employment and hired Spanish women instead.
Yeah, hold on.
This is an IQ problem.
Hold on, John. So, John, wait. So you saying she was an immigrant?
She was Black American, but she couldn't even compete with the immigrants for a damn job at Chipotle in the ghetto. Because think about that, man. Like, we got IQ problems. So we got to simplify the country. It'll put cash registers that basically do all the work. It's smart machines is what I'm telling you. Does all the counting for you and all that. But even with all that, she still couldn't get a job as a cashier at Chipotle.
Yeah, but that would be. I think that would be a one-off. That wouldn't be the standard.
You think that's a one-off? This is what I'm saying. The blacks live in the delusion thinking that the Waynishas and the JPs are one-offs. But JP can do so much damage that his one-off is like 10.
Hey, John?
Huh?
Even mentioning like the common sense, like Waynisha, from what you said, was like 35 or what? She wasn't like 19.
Yeah,
and to be that naive of knowing how to talk in a fast food place or what the expectations are. Like you had to explain to her that the POS system, which she probably doesn't even know what that acronym means, is what does all the math. That you don't lead with what you can't do.
That's right.
But I think some of the
Go ahead.
Some of the commentators did say on one of those streams that she probably didn't want the job anyways, given those stupid ass answers, But she was like naive, and it's kind of like, where are you circling on this planet that you're so naive?
Well, if you don't want Chipotle, if you don't want Chipotle and you low IQ, well, what the hell do you want to do? Nothing. Now, we're at the bottom. You're at the bottom here. You don't have many options. So what do you want to do? Chipotle or nothing? This is what it amounts to. Understand? And these aren't people that just can switch jobs willy-nilly because they have skills. People calling them and hunting them down. When I was in the workforce, people calling me all day, every day. Hey, Mr. Jungle, you want to change jobs? No one's calling her like that. She better figure out how to get in at the bottom and either stay there or work her way up. One of the two, it's up to her. But to get in even at the bottom today, you have to have a positive attitude to even get the job. And she didn't have that. She pointed out her negatives. No one has taught her what you just said, Master Kim. I couldn't believe.
Yeah, John, and I think that was very funny on the stream how you cautioned. You used very polite, sensitive language because you didn't want to upset her and let her know that you're stupid and dumb, and you need to use the language you talk to is almost like the way an uncle would talk to their nephew or niece. The care and the knowing that this is such a simple thing to do, and don't lead with your weaknesses. It was great what you did. You weren't trying to insult and humiliate the girl, but she needed to hear that.
Who leads with their weaknesses, man? Who leads with their weaknesses? Hey, I'm big, fat, and ugly. Who leads with that? If you're big, fat, and ugly, you gotta lead with your personality. That's all you got left. She led with, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I can't learn anything. Now hire me. Who the hell is going to do? Like, again, no one has taught her anything. No one has taught her anything. There are many, many blacks going out into the world just like this. Mr. Fantastic thinks she's a one-off. She's a mild one-off at best because she's not so destructive.
Standard, brother.
But there are a lot of kids all across America that we've
I was about to get to that point. I need to lean into that because you did bring up a decent point though that needs to be addressed. That's another thing too. Especially in that area, because it's not just DC, it's Baltimore. Baltimore is like one of the worst offenders, right? So you have these people not people, these kids, these children that are going all the way through the fucking K through 12 school system. And these motherfuckers can't read, write, do math, or nothing. But that's more so on the parents than the motherfucking school system, because why the fuck is you a parent don't know that your kid can't read at fucking 17, 18 years old?
Well, I think, ultimately the parents, you have to look at it. The parents probably are making a legitimate, reasonable, assessment of their child. Say, hell, they don't think much of them. Hell, so the school system couldn't get much out of them. Hell, it is what it is. Let me explain what I mean here. This is very important. And I'm going to explain it by an example, Master Kim. Years ago, Michelle Reed, who was the superintendent of DC schools, announced that she was going to go all across the city having meetings, little town halls. Parents were invited to attend. One day I just happened to show up at my tenant's house. I was renting Section 8 at the time. And I'm like, damn, you didn't go to the school meeting? She's like, what meeting? In reality, her kids were stupid, dumb. It probably wasn't going to be much. Why the hell would she waste her time going to a student meeting? She just got off work. She tired. She going to get up, put her clothes back on, and go to a damn student meeting about her 3 stupid-ass kids? What? That would be irrational, illogical. My premise is that these blacks are making educated decisions about their own children. They see them day in, day out. They know their children, some of them are stupid as hell. Just the same way that they can analyze sports, their affinity or their ability in sports, they recognize their disability in academics. Very few blacks that are athletically inclined are getting passed over because the blacks are making sure that their children get every opportunity to make it to the pros. You can't say the same thing for education because some of these blacks are real. They're looking at their children and saying, man, he's dumb, he's stupid. I'm not about to waste my time and energy arguing for a curriculum for a boy that ain't gonna be much more than a french fry fryer in a hamburger restaurant. That's rational. Would you say that's fair, Mr. Kim?
Yeah, absolutely.
You said it yourself. When in the Korean culture, if the family know you ain't that bright, they're not about to send you to college and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on you. They put your ass in the store. The blacks, they recognize, hey man, my child's stupid. I don't care if you pass him on. You say he can't read. I know he can't read. Reading ain't gonna be really fundamental to whether he succeed or drown anyway. So who cares? Mr. Fantastic thinks that these people are not looking at their own children, making an honest assessment. That's why I disagree with him. Oh shit! Ain't worth a damn.
It's not an assessment being made at all. That's my argument. My pushback is that there's not an assessment, not even an assessment. There's no care being given and attention being paid to the child from poor parenting. So poor parents is not he can just whatever. I think poor parents from the literal sense and from the figurative sense, where being poor as in like literally poor from a financial standpoint, but then poor from an attitude and parenting, which sometimes coincide. What I'm saying is they don't give a fuck about their kids, so they never even step in to fix any deficiencies or first off even recognize the deficiency, bro. Like I have regular conversations with my son, right? And certain little things I ask him or whatever, so on and so forth. If my son can't answer a certain question, I'm asking him, well, why don't you know this and whatever, so on and so forth. I just learned this, John Gall. I don't know if you know this. John Gall, they don't teach kids geography anymore.
What? I can see that, yeah. And see, this is again, like, I teach my own kids geography. He's talking about the schools don't teach their kids geography. Who cares, man, what the schools are doing at this point? The schools are irrelevant, bro. They're just a time filler for your kids while you go work.
Yeah, they don't teach kids, at least in Florida and Jacksonville, they don't teach kids geography anymore. They combine it with either I guess like history or they say thing. At least geography was included.
We had it's not the study.
That's what I'm telling you. And I'm down in this for 3 seconds back on it.
I want to get to this part where
talk about Howard. I've been leaning in on Howard.
That are again.
Partly because I've been making money off Howard, so I've been leaning in on Howard. For the people who are looking to have entrepreneurial ambitions, this is a learning lesson here. Going through motions, getting paid a lot of money for educating these kids. For example, the police, they're just going through the motions, overlooking crime because they orders from on high, just looking past crime. Judges letting criminals go, and they're all getting paid, and there's no incentive to say, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? How does this kid get into the 12th grade can't read? Because ultimately you might come to the conclusion that some children probably don't need no more than about a 5th or 6th grade education. They prepare them to go work somewhere. It's not a problem. Most people are going to work anyway, warehouses, wherever. We need those people, and far better them to do it than have automation come take their place because they're unwilling to do it. But that's an uncomfortable truth there, because who would be willing to say, hey, my child don't need to go to school to the 12th grade? He only could have to go to the 9th grade or the 8th grade. That's enough for him. Go to the fields. How many people gonna say that?
Well, no, I think I agree with you there too, right? So the reason I think a lot of these parents look at their kids as a burden, especially when they can no longer get money for them at 18, right? So especially from an impoverished parent, right? Because, I think they look at that from that standpoint. But I just don't.
One of the things you notice is Mr. Fantastic says is that these parents can no longer get money for their children at 18. What he doesn't mention is that a lot of these parents get extra money for their children because they've gotten them diagnosed with mental illnesses. I had a video up on the stream earlier today about a black man who killed someone on the bus. He had been shot. He was Johnny Boy's brother. He was mentally ill. His mother benefited from the welfare system, him getting extra payments because he was mentally ill. And when all those children aged out, the whole damn family broke down.
Not just the poor people either, man. It's not just the poor people. It's non-poor kids that are coming up and affecting these numbers.
But the poor ones are the ones that, in my opinion, are like the carcass that everyone is feeding off of. This is where I get into the media. They're like, hey, go to college, you'll be successful. And then a bullshit college like Howard University will charge them $65,000 a year.
Oh, you can't tell these black people that ain't a creme de la creme top of the line.
Right.
You can't tell them that. They will fight.
You're feeding on the carcass by overcharging these poor blacks who probably at best should be in trade school or community college or probably working. They're going to school in one of the most expensive cities in the country. Like they're rich white people. That's crazy. And these poor black mamas, because I'm on these Facebook groups, I rent rooms to these Howard students. Their poor black mamas are scrapping and scraping and sending their children to college to major in sociology. I think that's one of the most popular majors at Howard. It just doesn't make sense, and no one's going to tell the blacks. You spend $65,000 to educate a woman, and I would say Howard is not even a school anymore. Most of the damn people there are women. I think it's 70-30 women. You can't have a school with those skewed up numbers, man.
Yeah, but especially like say HBCUs is extremely women heavy, bro. Again, but John, again, I know your campaign, brother. I know your ministry, man. You know, shit on black people and whatever, brother.
Have I shit on anybody?
Well, no. I'm just saying, bro. You actually taking it very light today, John. I appreciate you, brother.
This happens to me every day.
I know. You take that.
You know what? I am taking it light these days. That is very true. I haven't been my same old like vitriolic self. I don't know what it is. It's not even about the strikes on the channel. I don't know. I've been kind of laid back, melancholy these days. I got rid of my squatters. I'm in nothing but a good mood. Anyway,
I'm surprised, but you have a lot of decorum today. You like, you know what I mean?
We're getting the best of John.
You was drinking a little beer earlier. You ain't hit the blunt yet.
I ain't do that, man. I smoked the blunt already.
It's Sunday, man. So John, hey, man, we get relaxed, John, on a Sunday, baby. But nah, man, that's what I'm saying, bro.
I am that nigga, the urban landlord, John.
I feel you, and a lot of the things you're alluding to is this, but it's not just the poor ones, though, John. That's my thing, man.
Yeah, I think not just the poor ones.
The fact of the matter, it extends beyond the poor people is the problem, right?
Mr. Fantastic got that dope, though. Like, God bless him. You know, he's espousing the right message. He ain't got that dope. Like, I could have gone, if I said, bro, let me just pull up a couple clips. All that pushback he had would be gone. Let me just pull up but I ain't want to disrespect him like that. So I just, let it all play out.
expectation, and that's why I say I'll never push back on you with the poor people, because you know what I'm saying. Different things, different circumstances, operating out of scarcity and operating out of desperation. Certain people are going to have certain outcomes. But the problem is with us is that a lot of the traits that the poor people have leads someone to people that aren't poor, and it's due to a lack of parenting and to a lack of care.
He sounds like be brave. What he's saying is that the poor people are worthless. When you, in contrast to the poor whites, you can get some value out of them.
Into a lack of investment into the things that matter most importantly.
Let me ask you this question. I don't disagree with me. Do you agree though with me when I'm saying that that Howard University is taking advantage of its students, charging them $65,000 for mediocre education? Would you say that's fair?
No. If you're paying $65,000 to go to an HBCU, and what is Howard's specialty? I don't know. Is Howard law? Or what's Howard?
The top majors are sociology, social work, stuff like that. They don't have an engineering class. They don't have an engineering department.
Can I answer, Mr. Fantastic? Can I answer?
Go ahead, Ashton. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, to be fair, John, to your question, like I was always taught, you want to go to school if you got a scholarship. Like you dumb the motherfucker if you paying. You get what I'm saying, like tuition and shit. Well,
listen to this guy. Listen to what he said he was going to go to college for.
Not tuition, but like before.
I get what you're saying.
Like, I would go, if I was to go to school, I would go for ball. But
ball. He said he's going to play ball.
You get what I'm saying? Like I never understood why people go and pay like a full $65,000 or $40,000.
But if you're willing to agree, if you're willing to admit or agree that Howard is basically fleecing their students, then you basically are agreeing with the point that I'm making, that blacks, and I'm using them in particular, are just being fleeced. They're like a big carcass.
No, they're not.
Okay, show me some $65,000 to go to Howard. If you're not getting fleeced,
they're not. They got other options.
Someone said Howard has a great business program. I worked at Fannie Mae in DC. They would not hire Howard business students. That is very true. I worked 3 years in the Middle Treasury office. I worked with Susan Orbach, a South African Jew. We priced derivatives. It was actually 2 South African women. The other one was not Jewish. The other lady was Russian. Was she Russian? Katerina was her name. So it was 3 white women, 2 of them South African, in the Middle Treasury office. Let me see if I can look up Susan Orbach. That's how they would pronounce her name. Look at this shit. Susan Orbach. Let's see. Jungle delivers again. Susan Orbach. Participating in a conference hosted by the Fannie Mae Office of Housing Research in 1995. Jungle. So it's a perfect. So I worked for Susan Orbach. And she did finance. I'm telling you what I did. Finance. I worked for this lady. Is it Renee? No, that's not the wrong one. It's the wrong one. Must be multiple. The future of affordable housing. So here, there's probably talking about her. Where? I'm surprised there's not more on her. Susan Orbach. The other lady named Katerina Skladoni. Some shit like that. I wonder what she's doing now. I'm really curious now. I'm really curious. Susan Orbach. Huh. Anyway, enough of that. What was I talking about here? Not dumb lemon. Not that. What was I showing? Damn. I can't fucking remember. I'm about halfway drunk. Oh, Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. He's fantastic. He's going to more or less admit that Howard is a scam feeding on the carcass of Black America. Here we go.
They got other options. That's all I can say. They can shop it.
But John,
price on everything.
My question is, but John, my question is like, you getting fleeced regardless if you're not going off scholarship, correct? Like that's what I always know.
I mean, you know, if I had a very intelligent, there are a lot of people that pay for their child's education. If he doesn't get, you know, a full scholarship, they got to pay for someone.
I gotta see, John. You gotta do the research, brother. Who paying $65,000?
Mr. Fantastic, though, he caught me in a gotcha. But even if his gotcha was a gotcha, he was still trying to point out that Howard was $38,000 or $35,000. It's still a lot of money for Howard University.
I just looked at it, brother. It's 30. It's 37,996, bro. So
Nah, you came over here and tried to pull the banana tailpipe on us.
Hold on.
38,000.
Hold on. Howard, according to what I've been reading, and I've been on all these groups, they're telling their parents it's $64,000 for a full year. I guess they're including housing and stuff like that. And
you know, PhD would be lying.
And I know because I rent to a lot of Howard students because Howard has more than
no. Shout out to you. No, you're right. No, my bad. Hold on. He got it right.
My bad.
So that's 38,000 is the base. Then the mandatory fee of 1040. Housing on campus. I guess you have to live on campus. And then food.
The first 2 years.
So yeah. So when combining tuition, mandatory fees, housing, and food, the total direct cost bill to the university is $60,084 per year. So I apologize, bro. That's incorrect.
There you go. So at that point, he is tacitly admitting that Howard is a fraud. $60,000 to go to a mid to lower tier university. Have mercy. So this one, and this one, this is what they pay. Like I'm seeing low class, middle class parents, probably first generation, professional job parents got a government job, and they're scrapping. And I think Howard puts them on payment plan like $2,900, $2,700 a month, depending on how much housing. Man, these people probably can invest that money in a business in their child. For their child.
But ain't that on the parents?
Ambition?
Yeah, but actually, it's part and parcel. So not actually, it's 2 parts. So everybody, because like Howard is the name, right? So HBCU, alumni, all this shit's on the board.
This
so
is
I
gonna
understand
be
what he's saying, but yeah, if you're paying $60,000,
this is gonna be interesting here. You're gonna watch Mr. Fantastic. Boy, he's desperate, looking for something, and look what he came up with.
I was going to fucking Howard, bro, and let's see their most prestigious program is saying a business program. What's
No. I said the top majors at Howard are social work.
What are the top majors in Howard? What is
sociology, psychology, sociology, psychology, social work, blah blah blah. I know.
But ain't that on the parent though, Mr. Fantastic? If they agree to pay for that shit, like I wouldn't let my child go on the. I can't blame the student for that. That's the parent fault.
One of the things that this guy doesn't understand is that there are all kind of federal laws where the parent can't just call up to Howard and say, "Hey, what my child majoring in? Don't let him change his major to sociology. I want him to be an engineer." There's a lot of, I don't know what the name of those laws or whatever they are, but there's a Chinese wall there where the parents can't just call the school and speak for the student. One of the things that Donald Trump has done, which has caused a lot of problems at Howard, is he's limited the plus loans and things like that, which may serve to help the poor blacks who are going into debt to send their child to school for sociology. Trump is limiting some of that, and that's what's causing a lot of problems at Howard. Because
white people too, though, John.
But again, we can talk about white people till we're blue in the face, but again, there's a large element of black.
No, so I was right.
There's a large element.
So, John, you see, I ain't saying you selling me steak, brother.
Here you go again.
So Howard is known for law, bro. So Howard is the black.
This is too good, right? He said Howard is known for law. Yeah, Thurgood Marshall 50 years ago.
Selling me snake oil, brother. So Howard is known for law, bro. So Howard is like the black Harvard. So they got the best engineering program. I'm looking at it, brother. Like I said, because
the black Harvard. Have mercy.
In my head, listen. When you said that, immediately came to my mind. I thought it was law.
Google the top majors. Google the top majors. What do people graduate? Okay, this is gonna be very embarrassing right here for Mr. Fantastic. Listen. Okay,
it's telling me
what are the most popular majors? Google the most popular majors at Howard.
It's not just a major. You know what I'm saying?
So you said snake oil, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, so top 5 most popular majors: biology, biological sciences, psychology, political science and government, journalism and communications, and business administration and climate finance.
Okay,
now Howard University is known for, just real quick, let me finish. The top producer of black doctorates. So the most doctorates come out of Howard.
And what are those doctorates in? What are those doctorates in?
Top producer of African American undergraduate.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are those doctorates in? Howard producing doctors in like black studies, the struggle against white supremacy in America. Like people getting PhDs like that and shit. Right? And so, here's where it gets interesting. Big Bad Kahuna said he saw this. So you're gonna hear me asking him a question. He's gonna say, "Oh shit, my bad."
Who go on to earn PhDs in science and engineering. The Black Harvard legacy is historically recognized for the pinnacle elite black higher education, shaping global leaders, civil rights icons, policymakers, elite professional pipelines.
Are you reading from their website?
No, I'm reading from Google.
Okay, so of course it's going to be favorable to them.
But no, you're right. It is coming from Howard. When I look at
listen to him. I said, boy, you read this shit from the Howard website.
Rights icons, the policymakers, elite professional pipelines.
Are you reading from their website?
No, I'm reading from Google. I'm reading from Google. Yeah.
Okay, so of course it's going to be favorable to them.
Well, no, you're right. It is coming from fucking Howard. When I look at everything.
You're
right. It came from Howard.
It says it'd be so embarrassing. He was holding on to that hope right there. It was hopium. He need that Narcan for this shit.
So, yeah.
Like, look at the top majors. You can't expect a school that's overwhelmingly women to have engineering degrees as the top major. It's going to be sociology, psychology. They just announced a master of social work.
Yeah, political science. Yeah, poli-sci and psychology are probably it has the highest ones.
Hold on. What they just announced a new program recently, a master of social work catering to the Black experience. So something to that effect. You can Google it. And you mentioned law, and here's what I tell you. You don't have to go to Howard for undergrad to go to Howard Law. I rent to a lot of people, foreigners, who end up going to Howard Medical School. These things are true. They're Indians and stuff like that who will attend Howard Medical School because it's cheaper than going to Georgetown or going to GW. This is what I've seen. I don't know how it is about the law. I haven't had many foreigners going to the law program, but I have had many Indians working at Howard Hospital and going to university there. So I bet you that the majority of the people graduating from Howard Hospital, Howard Law, Medical School, they're disproportionately not Black. I guarantee you that.
Okay.
But the undergrad is where they're getting fleeced, $64,000. And so again, I ask you, the president of Howard knows that that degree is not worth it, yet he continues to charge them. This is what I'm saying. Everybody's feeding on the carcass of Blacks, even Howard University. If you're familiar with Howard University, you will know that Howard can't even house their students on campus because they sold off most of their property or leased it up to high-end developers because Howard is in a nice area. It's probably the only HBCU in a nice area. These things are true. And so Howard has to move their students all the way to Prince George's County, which is now the ghetto. Not many of the Howard parents are happy about that. They thought their child would be living in D.C. And I would say the only reason people are willing to pay that kind of money to go to Howard is because it gives them easier access or entree to the government jobs here in D.C. That's what Howard is charging for, entree to the government jobs right here in D.C. That's my opinion.
But I still don't think they've been finessed. They're signing up for it. They got other options.
But they've been told that
I agree, John. If you signing up for it and you know you can afford it,
You knew what you were signing up for.
I can't be mad at that. I agree with what you're saying though, John. Like I get it, but I can't be mad at it.
I ain't saying that they don't do it. I'm saying everybody's fleecing Blacks, but from the bodega owner up to the Howard University, where they know these kids are damn near probably starting in remedial classes. I guarantee you that Howard is offering remedial. You know, right now most of Howard's classes are online. The damn teachers aren't even showing up.
Huh? That's all teachers.
Huh? That's very true. Now, I'm on a lot of Howard Facebook groups because I use it to find tenants, and a lot of them are complaining that their kids are not even going to class. They're in their dorms, hanging out, chilling, taking classes online. Then, like, you paying $64,000, and the parents are complaining that the whole semester of classes will be online.
I mean,
everybody's in the game of fleecing these people, man.
But John, you can't add that to fleecing. You got to add that to like the whole COVID situation. Can we be honest?
Okay.
Can we be honest, John? I don't mind having a conversation.
COVID was a fleece.
It was a fleece, but
Right.
you can't get mad at Zoom call. Like, I'm down there.
I'm not mad at Howard. I'm not mad at Howard is doing what everybody else is doing. I'm just saying, if you don't realize you're being fleeced, and people.
But most colleges, okay, well, John, let's take it back off Blake because I'm down here to have a conversation. I feel like most people who went to a big college instead of community college got fleeced.
And again, it's all a matter of degrees. But I went to Alabama and I went to Tuskegee.
But you know why you went to Alabama though, John? Can we be honest about that? I'm not a football person. I'm not a football person. I know Alabama is the place to go.
Now, Alabama had the program that was interesting. But again, if I'm gonna get fleeced, at least make the accommodations nice. Make it easy.
Okay,
but Alabama at least can fleece you nicely. Howard is giving these people a hard time and fleecing.
But John, do you kid out there? Like, let's cut the cap. That ain't the point. That ain't the point. You get what I'm saying?
I could have got hung in Alabama. I mean, this is amazing talk.
You get what I'm saying?
I didn't think I could get hung.
I do. With most people, Mr. Fantastic, you from Florida and Atlanta. When you think of Alabama, don't you think of Mississippi Burning or some shit like that? Let's be honest. Come on, man.
Maybe Ole Miss.
What? I've been all through Mississippi. Well, the southern Mississippi.
I'm from Memphis, John. So I know.
Meanwhile, while Howard students are paying $64,000 a year, this is what they're doing. Taking remote classes. They just came to have fun. Party. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about, Graham.
Shall we continue? What do you know about this chapter? Well, I heard they were the first. I thought they were the finest. Yes, the ones who started it all.
That's how the students aren't even going to class, but they are doing their little step dances. Anyway, fascinating. I do want to call a couple more of these places before we end the stream. What time is it? 4 o'clock? Yeah, perfect timing. Here we are. Call a couple of these places that, I do want to hammer home a point to the working class, man. The people that criticize JP, hey, it is what it is. JP is taking advantage of a situation that the government has created. And so you see some of these insane prices. Look at this, $3,600. This is in the ghetto. No one's paying this. That's $40,000 a year in the ghetto, right? You'll see this one, $6,300. Again, this on Martin Luther King. Look at this shit. Martin Luther King. Who do you think gonna move over with Martin Luther King and pay $6,300? It's called. I guarantee you that they be like, we need that voucher. We need a JP in our life. Shit nice too. Like what you notice though is this. Look at this. Look how close it is to this. See this? Now look at this. See how close they are? See how close the pricing is? 63.
Hello, this is Kim. Can I help you?
Hey, I saw your listing on was it Redfin for the 5-bedroom, 3-bath?
Which listing?
3968 Martin Luther King.
Yes. How can I help you?
Well, I guess we should start off with the requirements for that.
Requirements. So the income requirement is 2.5 times the rent.
So that's
and the rent for that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Right. So the rent for the 5-bedroom, I believe, is $6,300, and the 6-bedroom is $6,500.
Well, you got a
so your
6-bedroom.
income. Yes.
Oh, damn. That's a lot of money. You must, damn, you got to have a voucher damn near to pay that kind of money. Do y'all accept vouchers?
We do.
Damn, that's a lot. God damn. And that's just an apartment? That's not even a house?
Yeah, it's a full floor. So they're in the MLK building. There's 3 apartments only, and you have the full floor.
Mm-hmm. Damn, it's like are utilities anything included?
Water is included up to $150 per month.
Okay.
Anything if you go over that, then of course we will bill you back, and you're responsible for your own gas and electric.
Okay. So damn, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like, I don't know, depending on what electric is. And gas in the wintertime, it'd be like another $500, give or take. It's $600 to $800, give or take.
Well, combined, maybe so.
Yeah, damn. What are the tenants like in the building? Is there anyone in the building right now or no?
No, the building hasn't officially opened yet. We're still accepting and reviewing applications.
Oh, okay. Damn, do regular people have that kind of money? Or is it mostly like people with vouchers?
Well, right now the building is empty.
I'm saying, like, what kind of people have that kind of money to pay that kind of rent? Other than someone with a voucher.
I mean, there are quite a few people that make, $100,000 or above.
Shit, $100,000. That's all your money go to rent. That's crazy on Martin Luther King. Damn, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I own a house on Martin Luther King. Yeah, I was just calling to check on what the prices are and stuff like that. All right.
Okay.
I own a house not far from you.
Okay.
Yeah, far from where you are.
Nice.
Yeah. How long you been doing this?
About 20 years.
Damn, boy. Hey, yeah, I know you got some rough stories to deal with these people over here, boy. I got some rough stories. Since I had a tenant one time, and I have bathrooms in all my houses. All I do is rent rooms in the ghetto. I got a couple houses right by Baloo. You know where Baloo is, right? This guy left
no.
You know the high school Balut? You know where all those little senior citizen places
I've heard of it, but I don't know exactly where
Yeah,
it
so
is.
right up
No.
from you is like a lot of the senior citizen homes and stuff like that, senior citizen schools. And,
Mhm.
and so I got a couple houses up there. And so I had this one guy, he left 1,000 bottles of piss in his room. And I had bathrooms. And he was a good tenant otherwise. Paid his rent on time every time, but he just would not use the bathroom. He'd rather piss in bottles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I know you got to have some wild stories. I used to own an apartment building down on 6th Street. You remember where Benita Jax killed her children? Remember Benita Jax?
No, I don't.
Damn,
No.
how long you been here?
See,
How long you been doing this?
So I've been doing it for 20 years, but I started in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're new to DC.
Yeah, okay. So Benita Jax was a woman, she killed like 4 of her children. And and so I own the apartment building literally directly across the street from her. Benita Jax.
Oh, wow.
And all the people in
So
South
we
East-
just opened.
Yeah. Y'all just
We just opened one on 6th Street.
No shit, where?
We're opening one on 6th Street.
Where?
The 4200 block.
On which side of the street? The left or the right? If you're going south.
On the right.
Okay, you're on the Benita Jax side.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's it. So was it like a townhouse, a row house or something?
They look like row houses, but they're actually not.
Okay, yeah, because all the apartment buildings on the other side of the street. That's why I own my building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ooh,
yes.
that's rough over there. Have mercy. What made y'all go over there? Y'all must got some tax credits to go over there.
Well, no. The building came up for foreclosure, bankruptcy auction. So we bought it.
Okay, that makes sense. Damn. So where y'all find most of y'all tenants? Like the housing authority or like what just advertising on Facebook or what?
We advertise on apartments.com, on affordable housing, on Zillow, everywhere.
Y'all ever thought about renting rooms? Is this a big company or a small company?
No. We're pretty big. But we have no interest in renting rooms.
Do you ever have to put tenants out? You ever have to go to landlord tenant court?
Of course.
How often do you have to go?
Oh, but mind you, again, we're new to DC.
Oh, okay.
So we're not very, and we have an in-house attorney, so that helps.
So you about to learn the ropes then. So if you don't mind me asking, you never dealt with like the blacks in DC or anything? From a landlord position?
Not really. I have to deal with everybody, so.
Yeah, for a ride, sweetie. I've been doing this 20 years. I've been a landlord to these blacks over in Southeast 20 years.
Well, I mean, most of my tenants are African American, but I don't. They don't. I don't get a. I don't have too much.
Whatever you call
I don't have a whole lot of headaches.
Yeah, I've had murder. Y'all ain't had no murders yet. Well, you ain't been in business. I had murders, dead bodies, killings, beating people up, police cars. Oh my goodness. Everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
Damn, that's interesting. Have y'all thought about doing Airbnb? Hello? Man, I lost her. Hello? Hello? Yeah, sorry about that. Have y'all thought about doing Airbnb or anything like that?
No, not at all.
If y'all ever think about doing like short-term rentals, that's what I do, and I'm an expert in it. I can give you guys some tips and stuff. I've been doing business together all around you for a long, long time.
Okay. So I can keep your information. What's your name again?
John.
John?
Yeah. And save my number right here. Yeah.
We have a consider it. We can reach out.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. What's the smallest size bedrooms you have?
Depends on the area.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so we're opening a building in Northeast, and we have 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. So we have everything from 1 to 5, 1 to 6.
No, I'm talking about in Southeast. In Southeast, what's the smallest bedroom you have?
2.
You don't have any 1 bedrooms?
No.
Okay. I can pass you on some people. I'll save your number and I'll pass you on some people that are looking for 2 bedrooms. And pitch it to your company. My strategy keeps you out of court. You can fire that lawyer and you make more money. I got some interesting pricing strategies too. You put it in front of your managers, they're gonna think you're a genius. Again, I've been doing this a long time. Trust me on that.
Okay, well, let's talk. I'll reach out to you and we'll talk soon.
Save my number. Yeah.
Okay, I will.
What's your name?
Kimberly.
Kimberly. Nice meeting you. I'm John. Yep. Might be my new hustle right here. Shit. Might be a new hustle. Can Izzy Bands do this? What would he talk to these people about? Let's see. Damn, you see this? So, yeah, I'm proving my point here. You see how all of these properties are being priced for Section 8. Not all, but the majority of them are being priced for Section 8. Look at this, $3,000 in the ghetto. Think about it. How many people would live over here for $3,000? Again, this is on MLK. And see what they say. $3,000. We had my next door neighbor who tried to flip the property, tried to rent it on Section 8, didn't work out. He didn't like the tenants. He was in the same predicament. Again, this is another place on Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Here's a whole house. Is this a whole house? 2,500. They even allow pets. They must be desperate. I want to call these people. Nah, I might arbitrage their house. Matter of fact, let me call my nigga. Let me see. Call this nigga. Shit. Might fucking arbitrage this house right here. Look at this. Look at this house right here. It's a big ass house. 3 bedroom, 3.5 baths. Oh man. For 2,500? See what it is.
The person you have called is not available.
Let me see what they said. Let me see how the house looks on the inside. All right, here's what the house looks like on the inside. Oh, this shit got carpet in there. Oh, it's got carpet. Kitchen. See, I need that to be a bedroom right there. I bet they're taking Section 8. What do you guess? Section 8. Guarantee you Section 8. 2,500. 132 days on Redfin. They go to show you no one wants to live in the ghetto, and they're not paying these type of prices. It is only the Section 8 tenants that can afford to rent these places. They even allowing dogs, and still dogs and cats still can't get anyone. How many blacks have $3,200? That's what it took to move in to the last place. How many blacks do you think got $3,200 other than these welfare people? There's not a lot. And this is what I'm proving out right here. Schedule a showing. Where's the phone number? Where is the phone number? There was a phone number. I thought there was a phone number. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's call this person, see what they say. 202 968 1777.
Hi, thank you for calling Nest DC. If you are inquiring about one of our properties for rent, this system can send you a link so you can schedule a showing from your smartphone.
Look at this, is a 1-bedroom, $1,350. Let's see if they take Section 8. It's got parking. Where is this?
$1,350. $2,400. Jesus Christ. Who's paying these numbers? Let's see. 240-501-8740. Let's go.
Hello.
Hi, yes. I'm calling about your rental. I'm calling about your rental on Haley Place, Southeast.
Yes.
What are the requirements? Let's start there.
So I have a few units listed. Are you calling about the 3-bedroom or the 2-bedroom?
Well, what's the prices and the requirements for the 2 versus the 3?
So the 2-bedroom is $1,800. The 3-bedroom is $2,300. Both of them include all utilities.
All utilities. And what is the requirements to move in?
What do you mean when you say requirements?
You have deposits, credit checks, move-in fees.
Sure. So there are no move-in fees. It is first month and last month rent, which is due upon moving in. Likewise, your permission to run a background check.
And what do you look for in the background check?
So in the background check, I am looking for history of employment, credit score, and evictions on the credit score, on the credit report, rather.
I'm curious to ask you, doesn't DC like block evictions and stuff from showing up on your landlord tenant type reports?
I don't know that to be true or false. I've actually never had one show up before when I've run this check, so I'm not sure. Is that something that you would be concerned about?
Well, no. Do y'all have a lot of Section 8 tenants?
In the building? No.
But do you have some like in this unit?
No, not as of right now. However, we do accept tenants that do have vouchers. And so that's not a problem. Just at the time, or at this time, rather, we don't have any voucher tenants in the building.
And how many tenants are in the building?
This property has 12. This property has 12 units. I believe 10 of them are occupied.
Do you get a discount if you're not on a program?
No, there's no discount.
So the people on the program kind of get an advantage over everybody. They get a hell of a boost from their rent being paid by the government, huh?
I guess so, but I don't know those parameters. DC government determines that number based on family size, income, or lack thereof, and the government pays a portion, and then the family, if they are able to, pays a portion.
Yeah, that's how it works. And so, what was the other unit you had? The price for it?
Which one? It's a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. Which one?
Is it a 3-bedroom now? What's the price for that one?
The 3-bedroom is $2,300.
And that's all utilities included, right?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. What else? Do I have any other questions for you? I guess that's it. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Anyway, it just goes to show you, like, no one is paying that kind of money to live out here in the ghetto. It's going to be primarily Section 8. And we have a little time. I could probably get 15, 20 minutes. I want to send a shout out to Dolomite for supporting the channel yesterday while Be Brave was live. Shout out to Dolomite. Someone else sent a Cash App over. I have to look and see. I don't think he wanted his name mentioned, but anyway, shout out to you, my man. If you're listening, if you're in the audience, and I'm not good at the whole salesman type thing, but for those of you that want to support the channel, we bring you some of the most original content you're going to find on the internet, short of Mr. Beast, the whole Cash and Out, those type people. I think most of everything we've shown you, other than Mr. Fantastic, the content from A Day in the Life of a Landlord, John Galt, and some of the
my thoughts on how to be a better landlord, what some of the other landlords are encountering. And we encourage you guys to support the channel. And we have Be Brave up here. Most days he's giving you some wisdom and insight. I didn't want to keep it to myself. So I said, Brave, it would be a great idea if you came up and gave the young people some wisdom and insight. And so that is the culmination of that. Be Brave and John together. I think offering a lot of insight and wisdom. If you guys would be so kind, give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I'm back. Let me go through a couple of comments. Here's the back of my clip channel. Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Landlord Clips. Hey, by the way, I don't know if Master Kim. No, he didn't. He didn't call in on our road. Typically, I drop the road link for people to call in. I think it's a much clearer audio. I can control all of their audio here. That's a mere $10 a month. But from when Be Brave and I do shows, sometimes Brave and I on the phone in the morning, I'm like, man, let's just turn this into a show. And so that allows it to work. The road podcasting. We talked about that on the channel. What else? Damn, I gotta throw this African out. Let me see. Let me see if we can reach out. Oh, did he just text me? Did the African just text me? This is what the African says.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Damn,
The person you're
voicemail. He's moving out though, packing up. McNamara's moron. This is the African that was going into the Air Force. McNamara's moron. Can't pay his rent out here, can't make it heads to tails out here in America, and now he's going into the military. He's gonna serve on the Stanley and CKJ3 and shit. Oh man, that is crazy. What's up, Mexican? You wanna come on? Oh. What's up, Miss Kim? You may be on mute, Miss Kim. Yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah. Hey, John, man, I don't know anywhere on the internet that people are going to see what you're doing, calling other realtors, trying to understand, gauge the market and see their problems and successes. John, you are in a mature industry, right? Being a landlord, renting rooms and houses. So to do something new and original and dynamic is very rare. Normally everything has been done, did that, right? So for you to have the business model that you're doing and spitting game to other people, this is highly revolutionary. For example, I may have never thought of doing what you're doing, but in certain cities, where the state capital, like let's use Columbus, Ohio, for example. It's the state capital and it's a college town, right? They got
Yeah.
the Buckeyes are there. Same with Michigan State up in Lansing, Michigan, Okemos, Michigan, or Grand Rapids or Lansing, Michigan,
Yeah.
state capital, and it's a huge college town. These viable areas, in a heartbeat, I would buy a house and then instead of renting it out, do exactly what you're doing to the college kids or just to anyone. It's a much more safer bet
Yeah.
and how you're able to turn that living room into a bedroom and stuff. It's amazing. So the reason I'm saying this is, what people's expectation is of a business owner is unreal. Every once in a while, someone does do something dynamic, like create the iPhone or Facebook, but those are far and few between. Normally, it's the mature industries that we're all in, and just to make a minute difference is like earth shattering. Look at all the people you've called. None of them have ever even said, "Oh, my cousin in San Diego does what you're doing." None of them. They've never heard of such a thing. They were wildly intrigued. And I guess I wanted to say, the 5-gallon bucket, like the 5-gallon bucket of paint you get at the Sherman-Williams or the Home Depot bucket. One
Yeah.
person designed a handle at the bottom. Just a little groove that you can grab from the bottom. Just that little difference in a mature industry. The
Yeah.
poly plastic bucket is mature, right? But
Yeah.
one company decided to put a little handle at the bottom. That is on fire, And I'm not that I'm trying to compare you to like a 5-gallon bucket or anything, but the mild enhancements of the way of doing business, it's just breathtaking. You're a great businessman. I think it's funny how you were telling this lady who's associated with a bigger company, if they ever wanted to get in a higher gross profit or much more stable way of doing business to renting rooms, and the lady's like, "Oh, yes, maybe, yes, no." I think it was so far above her intellect at the moment that her
Yeah.
brain couldn't let it sink in at that moment. Just like telling a comedian say something funny, their brain freezes up. So yeah, John, this is for all the people that are listening, in their own little towns, they may not know what to do with their grandma's old house and stuff like that. But and out of all fairness, you are in a very thriving area, so that's important to mention.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you're
That
doing
is.
may not work up in Flint, Michigan, or some areas where they just don't have the dense population.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your area, and what people need to understand, you can you can go on Google Maps. You already know what John has mentioned, some intersections, MLK and Alabama Avenue. Go in there, just drive up and down the streets. You'll not see one boarded up house, and there's a reason why. So that's also important to mention that you are in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
very
Very much.
viable
Yeah.
area, but that area can be reduplicated, all across the nation. There are other pockets, maybe not as good as the DC
Yeah.
market, but equally, synthetically the same because it has the state capital and a college town all in one.
That's great.
Organically, the same is the better way to say it. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
John, I didn't mean to hijack your
Yeah,
stream,
now
but man, this was
cities like Philadelphia, New York probably is too big on money. The landlords are more or less concentrated. I don't know as much about Atlanta, but probably to a lesser extent Atlanta, Chicago, places like that. You probably can pull off a lot of what I'm doing because the rents are pretty high. And there's probably a lot of unused places in these houses. Master Kim, I told you, my next door neighbor, he came to me, he said, John, he inherited the house next door to me. So he was already living somewhere. And so he's trying to keep where he's living, where he was previously living, but he doesn't want to let go of this house because he inherited it. But to inherit a house that needs maintenance is more or less a yoke around your neck. So he needs to monetize this house. Otherwise, it just remains a liability to him. So he comes to me, he says, hey man, I want to try to do what you're doing to keep this house and monetize it. And I'm thinking to myself, there has to be many, many people all around here that are in similar type situations where they're not using the entirety of their house, probably only using a third of it. And they could stand to make some money off of the rest of their house. That is the way of living here in DC. It is what it is. Basements all over DC are, here's the thing. Basements are very valuable in DC. And typically that value accrues to the higher trust societies because you can rent your basement to someone in a legal basement and they're not going to take you to court. So in the bad parts of towns, all these basements that could be rented illegally without the hand of the government being involved go unused because there's no trust. All my water pipes, as JP described, is in the basement. So if I can't trust you to be in my basement, then I just won't rent the basement. So all around me, no one rents their basements, but I do. Who did I rent it to? Omar. You can trust Omar. The blacks that I rented to on MLK, look at what they did. You couldn't trust them. Imagine if they decided to be JP in my basement. They could have torn up a lot of things because they're in the basement. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity there, Mexican. You know, monetizing the unused space in houses in the ghetto. Most of these people are poor anyway. Why not rent your basement out?
Hey, John, I will say that the calls, at least the ones that I've heard, and please forgive me, I may have missed some of your other calls, none of the owners appeared to be hands-on, meaning they didn't say, hey, did you see those new counters we put in? Or hey, this is great. I'm going to fix that little cement missing piece. Or, you know, they none of them appear to be intimately knowledgeable with these properties that either they're in control of or own. So that just shows you that they themselves aren't coming down to the hood, even looking at their own properties.
The guy said, one of the guys said he lives here though, lives around here though. You know, I don't know what that means, but he did say he lives around here. So, but anyway, we'll probably talk to him some more on the stream, see how that goes, Mexican. Give you some insight to the DC real estate market. Were you surprised at how much the DC real estate market is driven by vouchers?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the dirty little, secret that's out in the open. And it's funny because you're having to prod that out there. And of course, though, the lady that you just spoke to trying to be very professional and neutral, right? But, from the sounds of it, she herself probably is just a little unaware of that precise house and that the local demographics and stuff like that. So, plus she said they have their on-staff legal,
right,
and stuff like that.
The reason why they have that is because they probably have so many evictions that it justifies the cost of bringing that in house. That's the only reason you bring it in house, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right. Anyway,
so, no one's doing this no one's doing what you're doing, John, on these internet streets. It's very, and not that I'm trying to parade you up and down, but I guess I'm trying to say in every industry, there's only so many advancements or business models. And, just kind of say, man, you're doing something very unique. It's obviously a moneymaker because you're able to absorb the people that are just have no shame, I guess. But you're also highlighting people, and it's almost like you're like a wild tiger wrangler, like you see those videos of these skinny ass Indians in Mumbai with a little stick in their hand, but they're controlling the tigers in the cage and stuff like that. It's almost like you're seasoned at what you're doing and knowing other people would be gobbled up, even if they try to do exactly what you're doing. Mind you, I could probably do it, but in an all-white college town, I could do it, because these people don't want what's called the 7-day notice to quit, right? They don't want that, on their tape to their door. White people are afraid of being paraded legally in the magistrate court. Not all, but most of them, Therefore, I get to, as you would say, I get to get Big Brother involved, the police in the magistrate to kick people out. But very compelling, very interesting show.
Yeah, it's very interesting, Mexican. Because real estate drives a lot of things, where people live, where they send their kids to school and stuff like that. So I've always found it very interesting. Very much a pusher. It pushes the economy. How where people live. I think it's very important. Oh, Master Kim, I was going to tell you something here. What was I going to tell you, Master Kim? I was going to tell you something. You really think I should go to the doctor, man, about the falling into the hole?
Yeah, I think, did the owner appear to be like, someone that was strong standing in the community? Like, did he appear to be like one of these engineer type of Somali types or Ethiopian types that's, I'm just
Nah. It seemed
afraid a
like
lot of these guys let their insurance lap and all that because they don't got cash flow coming in. So from like in the old school, in the old country, they don't pay insurance. But I would definitely go to the doctor, just get it documented, because if anything, you can get a judgment and just lien the F out of that property. The list, everyone, all the dummies list, and it's called LIS pendants. And I think it's
list
big
pendants,
Latin.
yeah.
List pendants, go file one of them because you can bring a claim on that. But if anything, you could just cloud that title to where if he did sell it, they're gonna have to take care of you first.
Yeah, no, it is interesting, someone was telling me that. I'm like, that just ain't, but it's probably
And
worth doing,
yeah,
I
it's
don't
for
know.
the two things. What had happened is highly dangerous and
Yeah,
humiliating, right?
yeah.
The nails and everything, all the, you still, when you go home tonight, take a shower, you're gonna notice all this shit on your ankles and all this stuff.
I can show you a picture of this shit, man.
Only
Um,
people falling through floors right now are in Lebanon, bombed out buildings and shit.
let me see if I can show you a
Um,
picture of this shit, Miss Kim. Yeah, I'm gonna show you a picture of this shit. Damn, did that not come back right? Damn. Let me show you a picture of this shit, Miss
oh boy, allowed you to walk into a death trap.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
And then,
yeah.
I don't know if it didn't sound like he was too excited to help you in that situation either. Maybe he himself was in a state of shock as well.
Look at this shit. Let me show you. Oh shit. Let me see. Here it is. Here it is. There it is right there. Check this shit out, Mexican. Oh, damn. You see it, Mexican?
Oh yeah.
It's been falling through the floor, man. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
I
John,
didn't see
and,
that.
and no one on the stream is trying to tell you to get a lick, but this is for sure something you're going to want to follow up with because you will only know the damage that you're showing right now, right? It's I can't. Can you imagine if it was one of your kids with you or your lovely lady Lisa that would probably never
Yes.
step foot in that place anyways? Yeah, so for sure, go get checked out at the clinic, go get a tetanus shot and all that stuff because those rusty ass nails and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just at least go get checked out, and then I would bring a claim against his monkey ass.
Yeah.
And monkey's got nothing to do with colors as much as the negligence, right? And then on
Yeah.
top of it, all you're looking to do is just drag his ass to court, and you'll get a judgment entered. You don't even need to be cashed out. Just put that lien on that building. You're a young guy. John is a young guy. Everyone, despite his little gray ass beard and shit, he's a young fit guy. So he's been living around.
Yeah, no, I
Long way,
really
so just I'd lean the fuck out of that building.
Yeah, the thing is, man, like it was dark in there, so I'm walking through there, but my eyesight level was at the refrigerator because I knew that's what you'd be interested in was the
The walk-in cooler, yeah.
Right. And that was today. And so but the floor space was wide as hell. The open space was some shit. It was probably 10% of the floor. And so the lights were off. So that, I wasn't going to see it, more to the point.
Yeah. Well, and the guy didn't say because, there's an expectation. What is the expectation that, hey, the floor is going to give way or there's a hole in the floor?
Right.
Like, no, right? So it's almost like, I don't know, man. The guy is just a dipshit, negligent, or maybe that the shit that they think is okay in backwards ass. I don't even know the name of
Bro, I'm going to tell you this,
Somali.
Mexican. If it had been me, because I've been sued before. I had a little drunk ass black woman fall down on my property and sue me. If it had been me, I'd have been so fucking scared that person was about to sue me.
I'd have ran over. Hey, let me help you up. Yeah. That motherfucker didn't give a fuck. If it had been like one of these ghetto blacks over here, shit, the lawyer would have already been called.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, geez.
and this is what I'm saying. Like, I think you're right about the, Ethiopian. Like, he doesn't understand the litigious nature of America.
Yeah, and the culture here, and it was extremely negligent for let's say you had a tuxedo on, let's say you had some fucking fucked up jogging suit. It doesn't matter. You didn't deserve that. What happened today is just, I mean, for whether it be 2 seconds until you realize that you were okay, that you were still alive, and then now assessing the damage. I mean, that motherfucker. I mean, this is, and not that I'm trying to tell anyone to get a lick, but I will say you're going to be able to put a list pendants on that fucking building. But I'll tell you what, John, what a piece of shit. Definitely go get looked at. And you've never heard me ever talk
Yeah,
good.
no,
Like,
no.
I've been sued 3 times already.
Yeah.
I've sued people. When you're in business involved in multiple stuff, I've had a customer reach behind the counter, grab a pint of absolute vodka, run out the building. My employees chased after him. He almost got hit by a car, ran across a 4-lane highway, and my employees thought, oh, this person must live in this field or something. He booked. It was all white community, by the way. But the kid left his car in our parking lot, so he had to come back and get his car. When he came back to get his car, he was hit by a car.
Oh, damn.
Coming. So he didn't get hit by the car when my employees chased him. He got hit by the car. Well, oh, the coast is clear. Let me go back and get my car. And we got sued and we settled because, liquor store, dead white boy, we're gonna lose and we're gonna lose.
Hey, let me ask you this question: did you settle or did the insurance company settle?
No, we paid $90,000 or $110,000 cash out of our pocket. We did not, because remember, if the insurance settles, they're going to drop us, right? So that's what people don't realize when they charge you. Well, so there's something called a loss run report, and new insurance companies want to see what the last company what's called the loss run report. They're going to see how many armed robberies did you have, how many customers driving over the curb, smashing through your front window, all that shit, right? So in business, you try to make as few claims as possible. In this situation, we had to cough up literally cash out of our pocket. Any business has the lifeblood of the cash, right?
Yeah.
So, some people owed us money. We owed money. We just crushed together, I think, $120,000 cash to settle it before a judgment was entered or whatnot, because we were afraid that we're going to lose. I think they were suing us for like $500,000 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But we would have dragged it out in court for a long time, and I think we settled for 150. I forgot what it was, but we had to come up with a bunch of physical cash. Insurance did not pay it because we did not want that to happen, because it's called liquor liability insurance. It's hard to get if you're sued, so that would doom our business, because we would. And there's only so many companies in the United States that provide liquor liability insurance. It's not every company. So with all that being said, I've been sued many, all business related. I've sued people too, just over bullshit, or sue people just to all that business stuff. But nevertheless, John, I would for sure go do that. It's highly humiliating what happened to you today, and at least because it might be a month from now you want to go do a claim, but at least you've got the medical paperwork to show that you're fucked up, your nerves and all that stuff.
Yeah, here's what happened. For those of you that just joined, Master Kim and I, we called the real estate agent. You remember Master Kim, right?
Yes.
And she didn't seem very knowledgeable in the sale of this building. Fast forward, was it about 6 months ago?
We called her twice, a year ago and about 5 months ago or 4 months ago.
So let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. This place has been on the market for what? Over a year at least, correct?
Yeah, it's been closed since COVID.
And as Master Kim said, it probably was owned by an older man, so we got to see the older man today. And so here's me walking into the building and falling down in the damn place. This is not like a JP impression. This is a legitimate here. I'm talking about you, Master Kim, right here.
I had mentioned you earlier. So look, this you see the bulletproof cage right here, the plexiglass. It may not be bulletproof, but the plexiglass. So when you walk into the door right here, Master Kim said, I'm outside right now. You walk into the door. See this? So you're gonna see another entrance. And so here's another doorway. So late at night, they probably would lock this door. And whatever you wanted to order, they just go get it from behind the plexiglass, from behind this door. But during the daytime hours, they probably leave this door open. I'm trying to see if you can see the hole in the floor before I saw it. You see, I was focused on the coolers, Master Kim. You see this, right? So you see I'm focused on the coolers because I've heard you talk so much about the coolers. That's what I'm focused on. And so you see this. You can see the ceiling up here. You can see the mold right there. The ceiling's collapsed from the top floor. You see another collapsed ceiling right here. There I go.
So, John, he's had severe water damage, obviously, right?
Yeah, that's why the floor is damaged right here.
Yeah.
Well,
So, for
old
boy to let you walk in there, so dangerous. That
yeah, it's very
do you think
dangerous,
that he knew you were gonna get fucked up? Maybe like teach you a lesson, or
Nah, hell no. He probably just didn't want thinking, man. You know, he doesn't have the American litigious mindset. He's Ethiopian. Again, as an American, bro, no way I'm letting anybody come in this building knowing how dangerous this could be with no lights on. Look, I fall through the hole in here. Look, Mexican, for the audience.
John?
Yeah, I'm hoping I get a picture. Yeah, go ahead, Mexican.
Yeah, this isn't some back warehouse that they just paint stuff that's not open to the public, right? This the area you're walking is the public walk area. This this is a retail building where people off the street would walk in. So the expectation of the big hole in the floors would be so far removed. This isn't like some industrial commercial building off the beaten path,
Yeah, someone asked, what are you doing inside the building? If you look on the channel from a while back, the owner allowed me in. I was not trespassing. He allowed me in the door. I passed by this building many, many times. Master Kim knows this. We've called the realtor. And so this day I passed by the building and the building was open. So I said, well, what's going on right here? And there was a Hispanic guy sitting outside and said, you renovating the building, whatever. And so the Ethiopian owner comes up to me and I said, hey, I talked to your realtor. I'd like to see the inside of this place. So that's how I was allowed access inside there. Yeah.
Hey, John, do you mind if I speak real quick?
Yeah, no,
and also, I think both times we're trying to show an exercise of what it's like to, if you see some of these hood stores and rather than let the Arabs and the Koreans come in to set up shop, these are the steps that you would go through to not only negotiate a deal, but also surmise, why is it closed? Did they get their EBT license revoked?
Yeah.
Did they lose the lottery license? Obviously they've got the beer and wine. Why didn't they apply for the medical marijuana or the recreational marijuana license that is eligible for that location as well? So we're trying to put some pieces of the puzzle together because it's very uncommon for Indians or Ethiopians to tap out and close a location because they got some other sucker within their culture that they can pawn the store off to. It will be a great opportunity for them. They don't just hand in the keys and walk away. So therefore, there was a list of questions that we put together, and John, I emailed that list to you again earlier. the realtor just was very unintelligent, didn't know any of the stuff, didn't know,
Yeah.
again, it was like, we knew that she didn't have the answers, but asking her those questions is to beat the price down. Do you know if all the electrical is up to code? Do you know if this? Do you know if that? Do you know blah, blah, blah? Coming up with all the reasons, knowing that do they have the financials? Because when you buy a commercial building, so since COVID and the collapsing of the economy back in '08, and then even after COVID, banks for commercial building, they want to see income streams. They don't do what's it called, John, when you can do comparable value. If for me to build this, in appraisals, it's called something, but with commercial properties, they want to see revenue streams.
Yeah.
What did the people prior? What were their gross profits? What are your project? They're very interested in making sure. Oh, just like you said earlier on the stream, if it's a couple and it's one person is the revenue has got the job and they break up, and now you got a tenant that can't pay their damn rent. Same thing with the banks.
Yeah.
In commercial buildings, how are you going to pay us? They don't want they could care less about the value in the corner and all that stuff. It's the revenue streams.
Let me ask you, Mexican, did you hear the guy who said he has a credit scoring system that will dynamically score your credit based upon how much the rent is? It's very interesting.
Yeah, I thought he was using the credit score loosely. I think, kind of like there's a point system that, like when the guys go to prison, they catch a case, depending on, was there a gun involved? Oh, there's 2 point, sounded like one of those things, like a grading. It was probably more of a grading system.
Well,
and I think on the stream you had mentioned social credit score.
Right, that's what I'm going. Like, once you get to combing their purchases and the flows of money in and out someone's account, then you can start to make a qualitative judgment about their inflows and outflows. Okay, if I see a bunch of your money spent on DoorDash and Uber Eats and tips at the nightclub, there will be a rating for those type of people. That makes total perfect sense for me. What percentage of his money is spent on entertainment, fun? What percentage of this person's money is spent on, books, whatever, non-fun stuff? And you could start to kind of hash who are the good people and the bad people. You could start to refine the list even more. This is me talking as a software developer. I see this as totally reasonable, like qualitative data as to how the money flows and where it comes from and what it's spent on. Everything being equal, there is a difference, right? If everyone makes $100,000, well, how do you distinguish between the good bet versus the bad bet? Well, it's how they spend their money. If one person has a car note, then he's kind of, what do they call it in economics? That's a fixed cost in the short term, at least, right? Versus another person who maybe goes out to the bar and drinks a lot. Well, that's a variable cost. He can stop drinking quicker than the guy can get rid of his car note, as an example. So
John, it's true. On one of your streams, you'd mentioned about, that you normally just kind of thumb through their garbage real quick because that gives an insight of what a dipshit that person is. And if they're constantly doing Uber Eats and
you broke up, Mexican. You still there?
dummy you're dealing with in that long term, unless their velocity of cash is high, and it's not. Well, if their velocity of cash is low, they're spending on the stupid shit. It just shows them that they're a financial wreck.
Mexican, did you hear the lady in one of the apartment buildings, or the man? He said it's like basically $3,200 to move in, $3,000 some dollars to move in.
Yes.
How many of these people on these YouTube panels you think have $3,000 in cash readily available to go?
I would say 1 out of 10, maybe.
Right. And
that money may not even be his to speak of, because if he's probably in a I know that anyone that's in a married couple relationship got that kind of money, right? And that means it's not their money to spend. But yes, very few have got that much cushion around them.
And they're not going to pay that amount to live in the ghetto, they're gonna have to go out to the suburbs or somewhere or to the better parts of the city and pay even more. The government is setting the floor. See, what I've been showing you guys is the floor. You understand what the floor is in finance? It is the, like the lower prices. It's the lowest price. It's the floor. We haven't looked at the ceiling. And the government is setting the floor at, absurd rates that the working class man can never afford. Anyway, what's up? We got some guy up here. What's his name?
Boji. Hey, salute to you, my brother, and to your
Yeah, what's
stream,
up?
bro.
Yeah, what's up?
I have come up the other day on the stream where you and this other gentleman.
Yeah, be brave. Yeah.
Right. I still do not get, you know what I mean, the perspective, but because, for example, right, if you're inside the country of the Philippines, you don't blame to another island to group of people. You know how is in the Philippines, every island has total different ethnic group, right?
Yeah, we haven't been talking about race today. It's just about landlord and stuff for the most part.
Right. So when it's inside down there and when the crime is committed, we don't say that particular ethnic group. It has to be collectively, right? So now, if it's a bad person, it has to be a bad person, one person. I cannot say that, I mean, all of them now are a bad person. That makes sense to you?
Yeah, it
So
totally makes
since
sense.
we're inside United States, and if the crime is committed inside, we collectively is responsible as a united, all of us. It reflects on all of us as a united. It doesn't say, oh, it's the Mexican or it's the
No, I got you. I got
white
you.
or it's
All
the
right.
thing.
I
We
got
don't
it.
do
I got
that
it.
type of.
Yeah, I got it. I got
Yeah,
it. I
we're
got it.
inside United States.
I got you. I
It
got you.
reflects on every single
I
one of
got
us
I got
collectively.
you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Mexican, you want to respond to that? Master Kim doesn't want to respond. I respond. I think with me placing these calls to real estate agents, stuff like that, you see the difference in the rent calls somewhere on one side of town is primarily supported by government transfer payments because no one wants to live around black people. On the other sides of town, people are very, very desirous to live in areas that are predominantly white. It costs a lot of money to live there, but everybody wants to live there. And that is the pattern that goes across the country. When I was in New York, I'm riding down Fifth Avenue. Nice. I mean, Harlem, not so nice. It still may be expensive, but that's where the tourists go, Fifth Avenue. If you go to LA, it's Beverly Hills, and so on and so forth. That just is what it is. You kind of have to accept that in America, and I think a lot of people are not able to accept that. The white people have created an environment where really, really nice things can thrive and grow. And I would say for most of these blacks, they shouldn't even be looking at that because they can't afford it. Look at what the government is doing to them with the prices of rent. Anyway, this has not been a race talk today, so go right ahead.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are absolutely true, that kind of feed into the stereotype. And I'm not going to kind of delve into the whole race thing. But for example, Asians or specifically Koreans, we dominate the African American healthcare or the beauty care industry. We dominate, and they're making tons of money. They do a good job of it. In addition to that, Asians dominate prostitution, right? And the Japanese saunas, those are predominantly Koreans.
Yeah.
We dominate that. It's a Scrooge of society. It's a very undignified thing, but it's absolutely true. It is, and it makes Koreans look like pieces of shit, but it's absolutely true, right? So there are good things that Koreans do, but absolutely pitiful things that we do. We dominate the prostitution industry, at least when it comes to the Japanese sauna business, right? So, the things that you've illustrated others about the other cultures and stuff like that, or what the gentleman using the Philippines is just an example. I mean, it's like, dude, even in the Philippines, they've got racism amongst their own culture. They don't got a lot of Mexicans or Greeks or, many other cultures there. So maybe race isn't as a big issue, but classism is a big issue too, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to put stuff of what he was saying or not saying, but I'm going to say a lot of these things about other cultures are absolutely true. And I used me and the Korean experience as just an example. Absolutely true. There's some very good hard, you know, then there's the sucky Koreans here too, you know.
Speaking of
You're
that, I
right,
need
though,
to.
my brother. Everywhere we go, we see a bad person, right? But we cannot say, that's why I feel like we filter is who commit the what crime, right? If we saying that if now in 2026, who committing crime, right? Who killing who, right? We cannot say that, you know what I mean? I remember when the early 70s when America dropped the first chemical bomb in Cambodia, and nobody talk about it. You know what I mean? I remember when, according to the records, like about what 2 million of them was killed on the test on an chemical bomb. So I don't. I feel like how do we measure who's good or who's who? Is the killer is way better, but because they kill more? Like for example, here in United States, we did it like I remember who named the United States. I know who's the Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian explorer that named the whole entire spot. I remember when the Native American was you know what I mean, genocide down there, 2 million of them. Who now a better person, but because I mean some other people are like acting in a certain way. Go ahead, bro.
You know, I think as far as where we are today in 2026 and everything's a
Mm,
matter of perspective, right?
right.
So, you know, we could be, you know, the United States, don't ever get on the bad side of the United States because they're gonna fuck you over with or without a condom. But this is the best place on the planet. So
The
both
best.
comments are
The
true, right?
best.
So yeah, but don't you get caught up in the legal system, you're gonna be quadruple fucked. But with all that being said, we are the best place because at least
The
there
best.
is
The only
First and
the
Second
only thing
Amendment,
is messing
and
up, right? It's the workforce right now. Whoever serving the people, right? Who is now serving the people of United States? Especially if you go into Walmart. You know what I
well,
mean?
you
I,
know,
I, I've
The
seen what you're
efficiency
talking
of the
about.
people that work in Walmart is at its lowest. And you see what type of uniform everybody wear in there. I'm talking about the one that's serving the community.
Yeah, I was in the Walmart the other day. It looked like the United
Yeah.
Nations in there.
They bad. They're bad. And who is the demographic? How many 54% according to them are the particular demographic that is thing? If now we have a modern day slavery, who is now slaving who? In
well,
2026 I'm talking about.
okay, well, Walmart pays $16 to $18 an hour. The employees are hard to train. They have high theft. In fact, Walmart is kind of subsidized welfare. Walmart should be heroes. They're absolute Superman, Superwoman heroes
I
for the
know, but
cost
I
of
was just
goods
saying
that
that
they.
the service, the human,
Oh well,
the
that
serving us.
that's just poor quality people. Bad, you know. The employees that work at Walmart come from families that are probably fragmented, right? So, for example, it's not the school system's problem to really teach my kids to know their multiplication. At the end of the day, it's the parents, just like John was mentioned earlier, and other people on
Good,
your screen.
good,
It's not
good.
society and the public's responsibility to make
Mm.
my children good adults. It's really the parents, right? So we got just a bunch of bad parents. They're doing a
Yeah,
shitty job, creating shitty employees, doing a shitty job.
yeah.
It isn't
It's
Walmart's
not
responsibility
the
to
color,
let
right?
people.
It's not the
Pardon me?
color, right? No color whatsoever. It's the
Well,
person, right?
you
It's a
know,
human, right? You
you
know what I
know,
mean? No
the one
color
that's
whatsoever. But because we can appoint, no, I feel like this is the thing I was having a problem. But we all human. It's just one race. We all bleed the same exact blood, right? We are not the oligarch, right? Because I have experience. Who's the oligarch, right?
All right. Laying your plane. Laying your plane.
Right? Nobody oligarch. But when we say we are all in United States, we are all the modern day slave then, but because every single one working. Because if you come here and you didn't show up to the United States as a hierarchy, you should be on the hierarchy. You don't pick up a broom a single day in your life. You will never even clean your home.
So
You have
if you don't
made the
mind,
clean your home, right?
if you don't mind me asking, are you originally from the
The
Philippines? Where are you?
Philippines.
Okay, so
Yeah. I was born in the Philippines. That's why I said
All
I
right, all
never
right.
see a single
Come on,
property in the United
hold
States.
on. He had a question for you. All right, he asked you where you from. Go ahead.
So and they do pesos there, right? They pesos,
Yeah,
right?
it says now
Okay.
60
So how
times.
many
$1 is 60 times.
60
God damn,
times. So
man,
you're
you
in a
talking too much
country
here.
where you've got the US dollar. You're in command of the US dollar. And we got these Walmarts. We got the big this is as Brave would
No, we
say,
cannot say that, but because
we're
if a
living
certain
the
One
demographic
at
dream.
a
take over,
time, my
hold
man.
on.
One at a time. One at a
I'm
time. Let him
sorry.
finish it. Let him
Look,
finish it.
let me land real quick. If a
Nah,
certain
let him finish
demographic
his
take
statement.
over
Let
our
it.
home,
God damn. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish Mexican.
Yeah, you know what? All I know is I wouldn't want to be in some piece of shit rice paddy in Seoul, Korea, where my mother came from. This is the best place. I've been discriminated. I haven't been discriminated. I've used people. They've used me. I've made a lot of money. I'm a family man. This is the best place. You have to take the good and the
the
bad.
best, the
365
best.
days of the year. If you have 2 shitty days, you are lucky. This is the best place to be. And I think you would agree. This is the best place. And we don't live in Disneyland. The real world is very dangerous and cruel. But
No,
of all the
no.
dangerous and cruel places, we are in the best place.
No, the U.S. is the safest place. But here is the thing: if a certain demographic already took over, right, inside your home, I mean, I could ask Mr. John Gold, does he have anything inside their home, his home, that he could show it to us that he says made in the U.S. We're 2026 right now. You pick up one item from your house and you said, "Here, this is made in the U.S." Or
Curious
every
something.
single appliances that we have is made in China and we already been taken over. Geopolitics wise, all our road in our road we
All right.
John, hey John, do you mind if I
Bring
may
it back
respond
home.
to a comment that Master Kim made regarding Walmart? May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Master Kim makes a great point about Walmart. Master Kim, you are that dude. You know it. You're the best. There was a young Master Kim. There was a young years ago. There was a young she and I were just chatting. She's a young black girl. She was working at Walmart and going to school, college. She said that she was able to work around her work schedule with her class schedule. And she also said that she could take money, like take like a small loan through Walmart to help buy books, her living expenses, etc. She spoke so highly about Walmart because working at Walmart, especially as a young woman in college, she was able to transition, that it was an employer, like, like a first time employer for people who are young going to school, and they can, they can adapt and navigate with this employer going to school and just, growing up, that transition, 18 to 24. Walmart allows that. It really is not that type of job. They do, I think they are the number one employer in the United States. But when you have certain people who simply are not willing to work, are not willing to use the benefits of working for a employer like Walmart, which is basically 24 hours, that's on them. There are plenty of students and also women who are just transitioning. Maybe they came from an abusive household and they just need an employer that can work around their schedule, themselves and their children. I've heard a lot of good things about working for Walmart. The bad issues with Walmart are those fellow employees. Master Kim is correct about stealing, organized crime. A lot of that retail theft is organized retail theft.
Hey, hold on for a minute, partner. You got Lisa calling in here. Hold on for a minute. Hey, Lisa. Hey, hold on. Lisa, you're on my stream here. Master Kim says I should go to the doctor. What do you think? Go to the hospital, at least get it checked out.
Well, I haven't talked to you since you fell. How bad is it? Like, are you?
Oh, I ain't seen your pictures, or I seen your pictures. Let me see if I got pictures.
Well, I'm driving right now, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. Anyway, so maybe I should go get it checked out. What do you think?
Well, if he's saying that, then I'm guessing it must look bad enough, or whatever you're describing is bad enough.
This kid was on the channel right now.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello,
You want to listen
lovely
to me?
lady Lisa.
Hi. Thank you for telling him to go to the doctor, because he would not listen to me if I told him that. At all.
But anyway, he was giving me
absolutely.
the ins and outs of it all. He was giving me the ins and outs of it
If
all.
you're gonna go, you should go soon, because just in case let's say things are serious and you need to send this guy a bill, you don't want there to be a delay between too much of a delay between when the incident occurred.
Yeah. I was about to go buy a bike. I'll look at a bike. So a bike.
Why? Don't you already have 2?
We need 3. 3 is a magic number.
Okay.
But anyway, I was looking in that building. It needs a lot of work. That man is not. I don't know who's going to buy that, but it needs a lot of work.
Okay. Well, call me later.
All right. Anyway, yeah, go ahead, guys. Ladies, gentlemen.
Oh, and we all know that it is the responsibility, primarily the mother, to ensure literacy in the children. We now have universal preschool, which is a good thing, and it does benefit a lot of communities, especially immigrant communities, to get these children learning English and following directions. But ultimately, literacy is the mother's responsibility. I know we've all heard that old Chris Rock joke. If a child can't read, it's the mother's fault. If a child can't read because there's no lights in the house, that's the daddy's fault. Like, we've all heard that joke. But
I think I side with Cam the King here. Like, we're going too far with education for a lot of these people. We just had white Nisha, who couldn't even understand. She couldn't even count and shit.
But Wanisha does this. We know Wanisha did not have a father in the home, and sadly, Wanisha should have been working. She should have been working probably, as well, 17, 18, maybe like fast food, maybe a Walmart. These entry level jobs do teach skills.
Have you been to Walmart lately?
No, I will never step foot inside Walmart.
So if you go to Walmart, Meskin, you've been to Walmart lately?
Oh yeah, I love it there.
So if you go to Walmart,
spend $164, walk out with $230 worth of merchandise. You're buying it, not stealing it. It's excellent. There's like for public welfare.
If you go to Walmart, basically
Depot's better. Depot's the best.
Every employee has a smart terminal in their hand. They don't have to learn where anything is located. You go say, hey, where is this located? They type it in the computer, handheld computer, and they tell you what the computer spits out. These people don't even put the effort into learning the store where things are located.
That's fantastic, John. That's great technology.
It's not good because what if the Wi-Fi is down? Then they're just a dummy terminal. If you understand dummy terminals, right? That's what
Chris, we remember dummy terminals.
But most people probably don't remember dummy terminals. These people are nothing more than dummy terminals.
But John, the work that you use...
If the internet would have shut down, they can't tell you where anything is in the store that they've worked at for years.
John, the work that you used to do, that's what these current contractors are doing. Everything has to be optimized. If you were still in the IT industry, you would have been part of that project to create like the smart terminal, those handheld smart terminals. So you would have done that.
This is what I'm trying to tell Mr. Fantastic. Like, he sees the corporate elite is dumbing down the country. I said, man, like, they're responding to how dumb people are, and they're engineering their handheld consoles at Walmart to where someone is dumb as hell that can use it and tell the customer what the product is. And that is what's so interesting about Waynisha. I'm old enough to remember having to reconcile the cash register at the end of the night. Master Kim probably knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
Your cash register can be short or it can be open. Neither one of those are good things. I would imagine you don't even have to do that anymore. And she
no, it's automated.
She didn't even feel comfortable working at cash register when 95% of the orders are,
It's gonna be credit card.
cashless.
It's gonna be
Right?
card.
This
It's
is
gonna be
what I'm saying.
cashless. Yeah.
This is it's very amazing. We got
And
7
John,
dollars. Go ahead.
John, and keep in mind, you know they're phasing out, and I know Master Kim knows this as well. They're phasing out pennies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we are moving cashless. If we no longer have pennies, the smallest unit of currency, that's very clear. It's very indicative that the country is moving towards cashless for a number of reasons.
Yeah,
Not
you see
just
that a lot in New York. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Because they want the government and these businesses, they want to be able to have everything basically automated and virtualized. They want to see every single dollar run through that, and also for tax purposes. They want to see the money. So we are moving towards cashless.
Papa, let me shout out 7 I see you just joining. Yeah, we today we did kind of a landlord heavy stream. We called a couple of real estate agents and we looked at the prices of real estate rentals in DC, and we saw how they were closely tracking the government Section 8 payouts. We then called some of the real estate agents, some interesting conversations. Will you say so, Ponder, Master Kim? Interesting conversations with those real estate agents.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we probably have the one guy back again. But
John,
go ahead. Mm-hmm.
John, if I can share something with you, I'm back in Princeton, New Jersey. I'm actually staying in Plainsboro because I'm now working. I mentioned that to you in BD. I'm working on a project with a law firm that I think you're probably familiar with, and it's for NYDFS for cybersecurity. There's just a new mandate, so I'm staying now in Princeton. A lot of businesses here, John, they only accept cash. Till this day, even when I used to work here, now they're still like that. And we know why, because they don't want to report all the income. Jersey's very expensive, tax heavy state. So a lot of these businesses, the small businesses, they will not accept card. So it's like, just knowing that, everyone knows you're not reporting all of your income.
Yeah, and Ponder, I gotta get out of here. I'm drunk as hell, Ponder. This nigga has a motherfucker, by the way. Let me go fast. I am the nigga, young dog. This high ass nigga.
They don't dance no more. It's all about the lean. Back in the day, crack was jumping on the scene. Now they slumped on the sidewalk. Can't talk. Golden era baby, but we still feel the rock. They used to be kings, now they lost in a scheme. Popping them bottles, throwing money, living dreams. Now they zone out and mumbling, fumbling. No rhythm in the city, the whole shit crumbling. They used to rock the house, they was riding through the streets. Remember there was dancing, sliding to the beat. Now it's poison in their veins, ain't no pulse on the street. Guess it's over now, they accepted defeat. Back in the day, the rock had a wild and free. Different story now, they got no energy. The new drugs got them slow with the hit unload. Out close and they don't dance no more. Rock used to be jumping, top shit they was on. Now it's lights out, guess the thrill is gone.
I am the nigga, dog. I bring it to you rough, rugged, and raw, nigga.
They don't dance no more, it's all about the codeine. Back in the day, they was rocking on the scene. Even dancing in the rain. Now they nodding off. Shit just don't hit the same.
I am that nigga.